What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up?
My
What's up,
man.
people? What's up, people? What's up, people? What's going on, my brother?
What is up?
Living the dream,
Happy
man.
to be here. Finally.
Living the
We're
dream.
making it happen.
Let's see who's here so far. We got my brother Sheldon and Dawn, the man. There's Nicola's here. There's Ladi.
That's Clay.
It's Corey's here. Okay, cool. We also have, don't want to, because she was the first one in, Janelle Lee. Got Damien from the other side of the pond.
Oh, I know Damien too. We all know each other. Right? We're just like a big group of awesome people.
So this is going to be an interesting journey, to say the least. Excuse me. Yeah. And of course, I always have a frog in my throat. You know, what's funny is the synchronicity of it all. And you know, it's bizarre. For some reason I want to think about MK Davis real fast. MK Davis, if you have your prayers out for him, next week he's having some heart procedures done. It looks like, I think he's getting more stems inside. So unfortunately we're not going to be able to do a show next week, it looks like, and it might be a while. Then again, you know, I know it's an adjustment every time he's with me. Let's put it that way. There's always something new I'm bringing, you know what I mean? So, you know, saying that, all my prayers, the Lord of all spirits, the Most High, shine your merciful grace upon our brother and a warrior of the truth, MK Davis. Watch over him, please. Yeah, man. And you know, it's bizarre, man. This whole thing. Dude, it's so bizarre. I've had dreams the past week. I've had crazy photographs that we've been able to take. You just showed me some images before the show. And this is, folks, this is the compilation we'll look at real fast. And this dude right here, it's part of a picture, man. And that dude is what, if there ever wasn't a shamanic spirit. By the way, you look at this dude, right? Now let's check this out. You know, so I didn't start looking at my images until was it Wednesday? And let's see if this was this the one. Is this the one? Look at this, man. I filmed some shamanic images, super small though, but doesn't matter.
Yeah, man, these are good. I like this.
It's crazy. So they got the big giant finger, the hands. There's the hand, you know, the fingers, right? The hand. They got the shamanic head right here, right? You see that? And you got another one right here with the war paint on and all that. And the pointed nose and stuff. Crazy. And then, so what's the big deal? Well, look at his freaking image. I never filmed any of that stuff before until this week. As far as shamans, painted faces. Hey, how's it going?
I see it.
So, and it's clear to me that what you guys filmed there, and it was crazy about you got the head on top, so you got the TP stacking going on, but he's wearing a shamanic high priest, like medicine man, headhunter hat, if you will.
I see a skull on there.
Based on his head, and then you get the head right there that's on top of it, and it's like, yeah, probably multiple skulls. You see, this is the dress.
Right on top of his head.
I think this is actually feathers.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually feathers. You see the black of his hair. You can see the war paint on his eyes, around his eyes. You can also see crazy, like either like war paint to make it look like he's
I got like one of these for
monster. What's that?
I got to light one of these for this.
Oh yeah, everybody better when you get done tonight, man. because it's not gonna be an easy ride. That's for sure. It's gonna be an informative ride. I feel confident about that as time goes on, as I warm up and you warm up.
Hmm.
And I just had crazy dreams and all that, man. So before we get into it, the diatribe on my end, Brother Jerrod, who art thou?
My name is JT. I created Sasquatch.Confessions back in 2020, and I started it. I started it to be there for people who have had encounters with Sasquatch, right? So I started this TikTok, and I sent out my email address in mass videos. People started sending me emails. So yeah, that's what I do really with Sasquatch.Confessions. I do my TikTok lives and I talk Sasquatch, man.
And you have a good time at it. You got a good personality. I kind of just gravitated to Jerrod. I was like, I saw him on TikTok and I said, well, at first I'm like, is this guy for real? And I started listening and said, I think he might be for real.
Oh, I'm for
As the
real,
time
man.
went on, I'm like, he is for real. You know, it's very hard to find a for real person in this world these days. So how's it going, Davy Jones? Laka, how you doing, bro? Yeah, it was weird, man.
I was just looking at my.
I guess I don't know where to begin. I don't know where to begin because my story is it's been pretty crazy the past couple of weeks, and I
So
think
much
that
stuff has been
when it
going
comes
on
to
as well.
synchronicity, I tried to get Jerrod on last month, but good old Jerrod being Jerrod, he's like, "Oh man, I'm hanging with my bros. We'll have to do another night." I'm like, "Because it's Jerrod, I'm
We had
cool.
a Sasquatch. That was the night we had.
I'm cool. I'm cool with that because you know you were having your one of your shamanic rituals and you didn't maybe did or didn't realize it. So
Oh, we did.
um so you were that night you were like tell us about that night. Why did you blow us off?
I blew you guys off that night because that sounds bad, really bad. But that night there, I got the opportunity to go out to Chehalis to do a night kind of investigation. We went out during the day and it turned into a night. You know, I ended up capturing a bunch of orbs, stuff like that, right? So it was an amazing night, really. We had lots of interesting things happen. I seen a black figure run by in the background, like a shadow figure. My brother also said the next day that he had seen something like that, similar but bigger and taller in the background move off. So
Uh-huh.
I think I seen about 15 orbs that night, man. We were literally surrounded by them.
Right. How close did they get to you?
The close, they're probably in distance, probably 100 yards away, maybe. And they're like we were in an area where it was all rock, right? And we were having a fire, and it goes about 50 yards out, and then it starts to be trees and shrubbery, right? And then it gets thicker and thicker as you go in, right?
Right.
So 100 yards basically around the fire where we were having, they were coming in all directions, literally. Um, the closest one though, I was by myself at the moment, and my my brother and the other guys they went down, but I heard this huge tree break, and then the orbs showed up, and that was probably like 50 yards away from me.
The orbs. 50 yards away. That sounds
Multiple colors. Sometimes they were low to the ground, like on the ground. Sometimes they were 5 feet in the ground. I have footage of that. I should have sent that to you, man.
So, So you guys are camping. You're having a fire. Get the fire going, and then you're like in an opening in the woods, like a grove, right, or some kind of on the edge of the woods forest. Where were you
Basically,
in the forest? Were you in a grove or?
it's basically like a dried up riverbed at the moment, like an area where water runs through there, and the creek comes and goes throughout the year. But we're basically in the forest here, right? Where we're at. It's British Columbia, right? We are vast, freaking supernatural British Columbia forest everywhere, you know? It's thick everywhere we go, pretty much.
Pretty cool, man. You see what I'm looking at?
Let me see.
Can you see what we're looking at? I filmed this dude on Monday. See, people, I had some crazy synchronicity going on. And Monday, I was supposed to go to the dentist. And the dentist normally wouldn't have had an issue of me being 10, 15 minutes late because they're usually 10, 15 minutes late at that time. And they said, no, we can't. You're too late. We're going to have to reschedule it. So I'm like, okay. And I'm looking
Yeah,
out in my car and I'm seeing a TP structure. We'll talk more about that. But anyways, and very short amount of time, I come back. I would say around 2, about 10 minutes to 2. Start taking some pictures of that, and then I started to go to the place where I had my first encounter with Bigfoot, and there it is, 2 of them up in a high tree. And I didn't tweak any of the image, but there's one of them right here. You can see his eyes, his head, and you can see his goatee or his beard. There's the
I'm
big
just
dude
looking
right
at
here.
this on
There's a
my
big.
iPad because it's bigger here, so I can see better.
You can see the big guy's hands, and you see his one arm. What's really bizarre about it is it looks almost identical to Mike Patterson's Sasquatch. I never seen this one before. And all the time I filmed in my local area.
Hmm.
And I don't know if you can see it's dark. I didn't lighten it up or anything. This is just a natural ambient light. There's the white. This is his face. This is the one face right. There's his mouth right there. This is dark eyes right there. You can see his hair stuff. I know it's blended in. I say, how do you know it's a Sasquatch?
Man, I see so much going on in these pictures everywhere we look, man. It's just wild to me.
But that's just like the ones that Mike Patterson fills
Oh yeah,
up
we're sure.
in what's
O.R.D. is
the
from
what
you in
area?
Ohio? Are you in Ohio or where are you from?
I'm right on the Ohio-Michigan border,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
about 12 miles west of Lake Erie. But this guy I never seen before. I mean, I have seen guys with their white mask and all that kind of stuff, but not this guy before. And I mean, I don't know how it's subtle because that's how they hide. But I was pointing once again. This is one arm right here. Here's where the wrist is right here a little bit. There's one head right here, like a junior. This is his hand. This is not. And anybody, you're more welcome to take a snippet and tweak it if you want. I tweaked a little bit on the video. I don't like these days changing, but my point in bringing this up is not to say, "Oh, look how great I am," because there's nothing about me. It's just synchronicity, right?
You had a conversation with Mike like a week ago or whatever, you know? Boom.
So
Now
yeah,
you're seeing this.
almost
Like, what are the odds of that?
almost to the week. I had that Monday. So Monday this week, I talked to MK, right? They
Mm-hmm.
banned me from my normal channel for 2 weeks, right? And then so then I had to do it on the new channel. Anyways, so then the reason I even talked to Mike Patterson was because of you. Because I was on your show, and then he showed up on Sasquatch Ontario showed up on your TikTok channel, and then we were like, "Hey, you should come on my show, right?" And you're like, "Yeah, you should go on my show." Like, yeah, and sure enough, and then this happens, and this is just one of the many really cool images I was able to capture this week. And by the way, I didn't spend a lot of time. You'll see in the times on this on the vid on this images. And we're not going to talk a lot about my stuff. We're going to talk about my stuff and Jerrod's stuff and his experience and all that kind of stuff. Because our path, ironically, is synchronized. For some reason, the spirit realm has decided to synchronize our paths. And I'm not just making this up. I mean, I'm not making this up at all. And so, but for me to film something that looks almost just like one of Mike Patterson's Sasquatches in my turf, never done it before. Never done it before. There it is. So, anyways. And I could work out to brighten it up and all that. But if you could just look right here, there is a little head right here. And
man, I see so much shit going on in there, dude.
You can see this is his. You see his arm right here. And what they love to do is they like to hide their faces with their hands. But you can see he's hiding half his face with the tree, doing the tree peeping. And then if you look real closely, those are fingers. Not only that, there's little fingers on top of his big finger. So there's a little guy somewhere as well. Anyways, bizarre stuff, really cool. And I don't know what to say except that's exactly what happened. And then that same day, I filmed these dudes, right? So what day did you film your shaman entity spirit?
That would have been a couple weeks ago. I think it's from the pictures that I sent you today, right?
Yeah, you just sent them to me within the past.
Yeah,
hour.
those would be the 2 weeks ago. I took those.
Captain Caveman is in the house. Holy camole, man! The king is in the house.
Everybody out there from TikTok, thank you guys for coming over here. Appreciate it big time. Go follow O.R.D. on. Go give him a subscribe. Subscribe on YouTube, guys.
And same back to my brother. Tell you guys who haven't subscribed to Sasquatch.Confessions. Jerrod is a really cool dude, and he's the real deal. But so I'm like filming these dudes, right? I mean, if you pay attention to what's going on here in this image, right?
You opened my eyes, man, to this kind of stuff because I was never really one into this stuff, and ever since me and you've been talking, man, it's just been coming in heavy. This stuff.
It's all connected. We're talking, ancient shamanism. We're talking the spirit realm, and I'm telling you, I mean, it's like
an unseen world, man. It's all around us at all times.
We're swimming in a swirling sea of ultra dimensional and interdimensional beings, and we don't even realize it. And unfortunately, our religious training has only told us a little bit about it, not the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, so they get this dude. Now, these guys, check this out, man. If you pay attention, let's look what this guy's got. He even has there's a feather right here. You see that?
Yeah, I do.
He's got the what the heck do they call those things? We'll call it a necklace for now, but it's not what it's called. It's called something else. His mouth. He's got the war paint on. He's always got the black in the eyes, like he's been blindfolded, like some Freemason initiate. You know what I mean? They get blindfolded and then. Or whatever, you know what I mean? And then they got this one dude here, and this dude, and he's got the war paint on and everything, and it's crazy. But the point is not so much about, which is awesome image, and it's really cool. The point is, I filmed this in the same course of period of time leading up to, let's see if we can get my images right here. Okay. Leading up to this dude showing up finally. This week, and then he sends me an image of
the synchronicities. I see what you're saying, man.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way getting around it once you start seeing it. So let's see where we can find. So here's the original image, I believe. I think that's the one, isn't it? No, let's see. Oh, this one's bad. You didn't. So here it is, right? So I'm looking at this. When you showed this to me, was that yesterday morning or whenever you showed it on your live?
A couple times I showed you, yeah.
and it was this image, and I'm looking at this, but you didn't point it out. I'm looking at this, and this how it is in TikTok, and I'm like, can anybody even see this? Does anybody see it? Okay, so I'm looking at this thing, and I guess where everyone was looking around this area, and I'm like, how you guys missing that? How you guys missing this area? Or how you missing this area?
I love you, man. You're awesome, bro.
And you finally sent it to me, and this is the image I wanted to see. I've been waiting for
This
2
is why
days.
it's so important for us to work together with this stuff, right? Because we both see different things, and we can, share with each other and learn more, right?
Well, I think part of what happened was too because the night before I started looking at my images and I saw the images, the shamanic images that I filmed on Monday, and so that I had the eyes to see something a little different. You know what I mean? And I'm like, dude, that's a dude. That's you know what I mean. It's like, see the caption is I just see this marvelous. I see 2 Bigfoots on the 90s. Oh, you know what, dude? Captain Caveman, they got so much going on up there. And not only that, man, if I get some of these guys, there's a couple of guys out there that are gifted. They can film the amount of freaking entities in the sky, man. I mean, you guys who was paying attention to that cool image of the flying Bigfoot or the Bigfoot in the sky that I've been sharing with you. This dude, man, he's got it. I mean, there's whole stories up there, and he's able to film it. I'm serious. We have been so blindsided, and this is so important because I believe that our ancestors, all of our ancestors, it wasn't just the stars that they saw. Hope that's better. It wasn't just the stars. They were seeing stories literally being told in the sky, and then during the day in the clouds and in the night and in the stars. And it
I
wasn't
think our
just
ancestors, see, we see this stuff in our pictures, right? But our ancestors, they didn't have all this distraction. So they probably really seen this in real time.
yeah. Well, they had to, you know what I mean? First of all, you think about they were totally connected to the earth. We are not anymore. We are
100%.
so through EMF pollution,
Yeah.
for electromagnetic frequency
Goddamn
pollution,
shoes we wear.
the clothes we wear, the shoes we wear, the deodorant we wear, to the food we eat, to the crap
Everything.
water that we drink, to the fact that most of us in North America or in the world in Europe and all that don't even see even a fraction of the stars, the template, the painting, the palette above us. Not even close to what's going on. So we are so disconnected at this point from reality, and I mean that sincerely. All of us are, and it's something that we have to come to terms with. I don't know what we're going to do as a people, but I can tell you this much: that the black magicians that are running our life right now, we have to somehow free us from the yoke of their deception and lies so that we can get back into harmony with the creator God and his creation. But back to this. Okay, that was my sermon, my first one or second one, I don't know, of the night. How many are there? You know what I mean? Look at that, man. Isn't that just, I don't know, people. I know he's ugly and he's scary looking, but he is a think of this. He said he's an ancestor. Now you're in British Columbia. He's like in the region where the word Sasquatch was coined. Right? Is that correct?
Pardon me. Sorry. Say that one more time, bro. Somebody messaged me there. Sorry. Say that again. I'm sorry, man.
Jerrod. Sorry. So hey, listen. So the word that Sasquatch was coined in where you come from, where you live.
Okay. So there's a native people here, local people called the Stahelis First Nations, and there was a J.W. Burns, I think was the guy's name, and he was a residential school or a school teacher, and he taught the native kids from the Chehalis reservation, and they would tell stories of the Saskats, right? So he ended up translating the word to English, which was Sasquatch. And that is where the word comes from, yes. From my area. It's about, I'm not going to say it's in Mission where I live, but it's about 20 minutes away. It's in its own area, right? It's the Alis First Nations territory.
If it's 20 minutes away, you're pretty much the same location. So that's how I would see it. I mean, if you want to eat the ground zero, it's close enough. Yeah. So, anyways, point being all this, or you could, I mean, the indigenous people of that area with their jet black hair and they're much more, they had much more different, different features than the ones from the east. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's like that. I think it does like it gets like that. Yes. I mean,
I
but
see.
it's like that. I want to say it's like that with everybody, right? All kinds of people, right?
Right.
We're different looking everywhere.
No, we're all just people, but just because we call the genetic pool, right? So just because over hundreds of years, you're going to have people in a certain area look different than people from another area. And what I'm looking at is a dude that was from that area.
Mm.
That's what I'm getting.
Gotcha. No, I see it, man. It's crazy because at first I didn't, and then he pointed it out to me. It's like, how can you not see it?
It was
So
yeah. And it's so subtle, right? It's so subtle. They hide these mysteries. When you look at this, is it? I don't know if is it a Sasquatch or is it? I would argue that it's a regional spirit in that area,
I would say
so. And that it's like one of those that's connected to that land. So that's what I would say.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start looking at what's up with this X?
They're just and I figure they're definitely put there, right? Like they're I like to think they're from the Sasquatch people, right? They're there for us to find.
And what did you? Is that where you got one of your staffs from, like that way as well, or is that?
No, that was gifted to us, basically. Well, let me get into a little bit of a story here. Maybe I'll tell this encounter story we had.
Jeez.
Okay.
Hey, by the way, before we get going on this, how's the audio, people? I forgot to even ask. How's the audio? We were like 10, 15 minutes in a row. Can you guys hear Jerrod okay? Can you hear me okay? Am I too loud? Is he too soft, etc.? Let's give me a heads up, okay? Go ahead, man. If there's any adjustment, I'll let you know.
All right, guys. So I'll start this off with a friend of ours who had a Sasquatch encounter as well, and I'll get into that as well. A friend of ours and my brother went out to put up trail cameras one day. They walked down this dried riverbed. They passed this log that had a bunch of rocks on it. They didn't even notice it.
What the fuck? Dude, you can't see that. You guys didn't see that. Do you see the head behind it?
Oh, man.
You can't see it? Can you see it now?
I have a hard time seeing on my phone because it's so small, bro. And
Sorry
even
to
on
interrupt you, but did anybody else see that?
Yep.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm like, dude, okay, come on. I mean, it's synchronicity is ridiculous.
Okay, so these guys went out, right, to put up trail cameras. They put up the trail cameras. They found a tree break and possibly a little bit of a structure thing going on. They came back. As they were walking out, they stopped at this log and they noticed this rock, right? I actually sent you a picture of the rock. Yeah, I don't know if you want to pull that up right now.
I will. Give me 1 second while I'm sorting out Jerrod's file case.
Clay, this is a Timmy's.
Damn, dude, you can't see that, dude. That's such a. Oh man, that's
you're awesome, brother.
I don't know how you can see that, man. How can you see that? Can you see that freaking head right there? And it's all painted up, man, just like your image. Okay, and there's your. That's not the first one. This is the first one. Okay,
This is the
the
log where the
rock.
rock was. Look at that. That is, I'm pretty sure this is what is called a Hall's marking. Uh, it's a symbol that the Stehalis people have been using for thousands of years. And on that there, on the next picture, I see a Hall's marking, a woman, and a man on the rock. And if
Oh
you
man,
look at
if we can see if MK can figure that one out.
see that man and woman, do you see what I'm saying?
I see a deer.
Like, to me,
Can you see the deer's head? I'm not. It could be both, but let's just
that's
see.
a man standing up, and then the other
I
one's
see
a
an elk.
woman.
I see a man on an elk.
Well, I see what you're saying there.
But
I see
okay,
what you're saying.
okay. Show me where you see the man and the woman.
Well, basically, if you cut that image right in half, on the left right side of the rock is the woman. She's wearing like a dress with two legs sticking down. And then on the right side of the rock, that's the man. That kind of smooth black markings. There's a
Here.
head, and those are the legs right there. Those are legs. That's the body. There's where the arms cross, and that's his head right there.
Okay.
So do you see what I'm saying?
I can see what you're saying. I can see. So here's the woman.
Yep. Like she's got a dress on, that big
What's she?
rectangle
Has
looking
she got
block.
like feathers in her hand or something?
No,
I see. Oh my god, dude! It's like a dual image. It's like a man and a woman, and an elk.
and an elk.
I'm dead serious.
Well, I can see what you're saying. I get you.
I mean, do you see what I'm saying? I can see the woman, right? I see what you're saying about the man, but then that's the elk's head. There's the ears. There's the elk's eye. I'm not trying to take away from
No,
your.
no, I see what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I see
I can
both
see that.
the woman and I see the man, and I also see it turns into what you're saying. I see that
It
that
would make a
elk
lot of
there.
sense if it came from that area, them riding on the elk,
Mm-hmm.
because that's what they would have been living off of that time.
I'm gonna go with my original theory on it is just man and woman, but I see what you're saying. I do get what you're saying
Okay.
because
Well, I'm
the markings
I'm not
the
trying to take it
markings
away.
right? Oh
Okay.
yeah, no, I get you, brother. I get you. The markings on the rock, that the Hall's marking, and if you pull up that other picture, I had a little summary written up there. It's
You
like a
definitely
little
you
clip it
definitely
from
see the woman
Wikipedia.
for sure. You can definitely see the woman. This one?
No, and that's the Hall's marking. But go back to the write up. There's a little write up from Wikipedia
Oh,
there.
okay.
Um, Now, if you read that in the Stehalis tradition, the Exiles, the Transformer, the Exiles, that's the Halls. That's that X marking. The Transformer defeated a powerful shaman known as the Doctor. The Halls turned the shaman to stone and broke the stone to pieces, spreading the fragments to prevent his return. The heart of the shaman fell on the shores of the home lake, Harrison Lake, and became the place where the Stehalis originated. That is basically on that rock. We got the Hall's marking, man and woman. This is the story of creation on stone. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right? This is how I see it. And then it says right here, right? The Stehalis, this is evidence of their culture in form of Elithic stone working. Is it possible that the stone that I have right here is some of that stone working?
It clearly is.
Right?
It's it,
So
yeah.
to get back kind of to the story, my brother took pictures of these rocks, right, and came home with the pictures and told me about it. And excuse me, he I'm like, why didn't you bring that home? That rock is so cool. I ended up talking to my buddy, figuring out that that marking meant something and that people have been using it for thousands of years. So I had to go back out to the log to get the rock. So I go back out there 2 days later. There was 5 rocks on the log. When I got back there was 2 rocks on the log. And that big staff stick was now leaning against the log. So 2 days, things had changed. To me, I mean, that's obvious something.
So this is the big stick.
That's the rock there. Yeah.
That's all right. What do you think they were trying to say?
To me, it was just an obvious, like, hello, we're here. Like, things changed within 2 days. There was 5 rocks on the log. When I got back there was only 2 rocks, and the stick was now, that stick showed up out of nowhere and was leaning against the log. And this is an area where there's no water. Like, we're in a major drought this year. You know, this stick was placed there. 100% things had changed. See how it's leaning right there? This is where I found it. When I found the rock, I took this picture.
Oh, right
See
here.
the log? The staff is leaning against the log.
Is that it right there?
That's it. Okay, there was literally 5 rocks on
Dude,
that
that's
log.
really,
When I got back, there was
it's a
2.
really cool story. It really is.
Right?
You
Now,
gotta
it ain't over
copyright
yet, though. It ain't over, brother. It
it.
ain't over.
To the fact.
1 week later, me and Sasquatch Seekers, he's actually in your chat here and there. I think he actually is doing a YouTube premiere right now himself. But
Sasquatch
yeah,
Seeker.
Sasquatch Seekers,
Seeker?
he's a brother of
Seeker?
mine.
Seeker.
Yeah, man. So me and him are out fishing 1 week later at the Chehalis River. We're having a great day. It's fucking hot as balls out there, okay? I'm sweating. I'm only wearing my shorts because I'm sweating out there. It's summertime, right? It was actually September 22nd, but it was really hot still. And we're walking down the river. We're fishing. We're having a great day. And he's fishing in there, and I'm looking downstream. And downstream, there's an area where a dry riverbed runs into the river. And that's where this rock was found, in that direction. Literally, the Sasquatch comes walking out from right to left, crosses about 200 yards in 10 seconds, taking some of the biggest steps I've ever seen anything take. That's what caught my eye the most, is seeing these giant spaces between the legs. Like, at the distance, I was really like, it was amazing, right? Head to toe brown, light brown color. And it also had a stick in its hand, like the one that it gave us. Okay.
Yeah.
It crossed a river in 10 seconds. It covered 200 yards. There was a river going through there. It walked right through it. It was about 7 to 9 feet, maybe 10 feet tall. You know, hard to tell in the distance, but yeah. 10 minutes later, I'm pretty sure we found baby Sasquatch footprints as well.
Oh, I believe it.
You know?
What do you see on this side? Am I allowed to say? I mean, I don't want to offend you if you're seeing one thing, but I see I see an amazing image here. What do you see?
Well, I see the marking that I talk about. I've also been told there's faces in it.
I see a boat.
A what?
A boat.
A boat.
Seriously, here's the boat. Body of the boat. The boat and the front of the boat has some kind, which is weird because I've just been reading about the old shamanic tradition of using bird feathers. There's a bird symbol of a bird or a cross. There's another bird on the other side of the boat. And then there's thing going right through here. And it's almost like I mean, that's what I see. I'm not saying it's so. It
No,
could
no,
be an
bro. I get
angle.
you, man.
'Cause
I'm
you have,
just, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm just
I'm
loving it,
trying to
brother.
see because it's. I'm not saying that it's so because you're, you have first eye, hand, identification of it. I can only base it on a photograph, but
The
dude,
marking,
I
that
see
marking
deeper
says it all to
deeper
me, right?
stuff in the rock, and it's really cool.
The symbol, right?
Yeah.
That symbol is literally a symbol that people have been using for thousands of years, right? So,
As far as
I just,
the X goes,
yes, as far as the X, that's not an X, it's called a Halls, but, you know, it looks like an X-like structure, yeah.
yeah,
And the funny thing is, bro,
and it's like
right?
in a region.
Let me just explain this to you guys too, right? With the Stehalis people, the Halls marking basically created them with this stone that landed in the home lake, Harrison Lake, where Sasquatch, Harrison Hot Springs, right? Now, is it a strange coincidence that I find stick structures like this everywhere? They're not complete X's. They're like, like that. They're like the Hall's markings. We literally see them throughout the forest, everywhere.
Hmm.
And I'm telling you, the main thing in the Stehalis people's culture is Sasquatch. That is their main thing. Saskets, Sasquatch. So for him to be the main thing of their culture and the Halls marking to be such an important thing in their culture, there's a connection between the both of them. And we see these structures everywhere in our forests here. So it's like it can't be a coincidence, right? They have to be doing them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I feel. All right.
Well,
You know who I
yeah. So, um, that's the big question. Who are they? Are they ancestors from the past? Are they ancestors that are the present representing the past? Um, are they like I believe that they're ultra dimensional beings that actually transverse time and space and can actually they're like the ultimate time traveler, if you will.
I have a theory. I have a theory. If you don't mind me, I'm sorry if I'm jumping over you or saying anything like this.
You're the guest. I'm the one's talking over you. No, to keep going, man.
Okay. So I do have a theory about the Sasquatch because we talk all the time and we talk about how they're interdimensional, ultra dimensional, they're dimensionals, right? So for the Sasquatch, I say he has to be higher than the fifth dimension, possibly even the highest dimensional beings there are. And for something to be higher than the fifth dimension, that means time, all that stuff doesn't exist to you. You literally can live and coexist in the past, the present, and the future all at once. So I've always thought, is it possible when somebody sees a Sasquatch walking, say they see him walking in a meadow, and all of a sudden the Sasquatch disappears into thin air, right? And is it possible that this dimensional, ultra dimensional, interdimensional being was walking there in 1997 when you seen him, and instantly he notices you seeing him, and he steps into 1987 in one step and disappears in front of your eyes, and now is walking in that timeline? Is this how they do it? Is this how they stay hidden from us?
I think so. I think there's they can come in and out of our reality. They have to go to a different realm, a different present, a different reality. There's only
100%.
there's only way. That's the only way they can pull off what they pull off. They're not. You know what? If they were just mere flesh and blood, knowing who we are, we would
I'm
have
telling you,
them.
right? Like it's
We'd have one taxidermied in every freaking museum from here to Timbuktu and back. So I mean, come
you
on,
know what, man.
let's
You
be
know what?
honest about it. And people say, "Well, the government's stopping that." Oh no, I don't think the government's stopping anything. I think the only ones stopping us is they are stopping us. They being Sasquatch. That's what's stopping us. That's-
Yeah.
yeah. What's going on
Now
with
it's
this
funny
rock?
because like seeing the Sasquatch, right? Obviously, I don't know because I didn't see it or touch it, right? But it sure looked physical to me. You know, the footprints that we casted sure looked physical to me, right? And we know, I know they're interdimensional. You know, we know that. And
Right, but when we say physical, we have to, define our
are
terms,
they
right?
really physical though? Are they really here at that time? It's a strange thought, man.
Here's something to think about, and this is going to be kind of mind blowing and mind bending. But what if these manifestations of these footprints many times are something that shows up that actually happened in the distant past? You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
let's say, okay, because we don't. There's only a few people that can say with certainty that they saw Sasquatch at that moment make those footprints. Okay, so let's just think about this, and let's think about what happens in churches and cathedrals and in mosques and in temples throughout all time and regions, and just forget about our religious biases. These things happen, okay, in which footprint marks show up in carpet, show up in the grass, show up in the uh,
Can I?
um,
Can I? Sorry. Can I say something?
no, you can't.
I'm gonna say something. Teacher,
No,
put my
no,
hand up.
that's 5 minute timeout for you, Jerrod.
Okay, so once this happened to me. Okay, this is an experience that I had, and we're talking about footprints and seeing stuff like this. So I have to say this. It popped up right away, right? And my brain, this is how it works. So I have to say it. Um, Once I was out here, right in my yard here, and I was out there having a cigarette. It was probably about 10 o'clock at night. Full moon that night. Could see crystal clear, right? You could see the ground was lit up. You know, you could see everything. We had just had freshly laid gravel on our driveway. So, when you stepped in it, you would hear, right? Like the rocks. You could see movement if you were walking on it. Now, I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, it was like something was running towards me. I could see the footsteps in the gravel, fast, like running straight towards me, fast.
Right.
Footsteps running straight at me. It literally stopped and skidded like it was stopping on ice, like, and it stopped 1 inch from my shoes. And I just stood there and I was like, all right, is that all you got?
So,
Mhm.
did you see, no, I'm going to ask you, did you see the footprints being made?
Yes, that's
And
what I was trying to say.
right before your eyes,
100%.
right before your
With
eyes.
my
Okay.
own eyes running towards me, full speed, it was about 100 yards away, full out dash towards me, like it was running as fast as it possibly could, and then it literally skidded like it was stopping on ice, like on ice skates,
Uh-huh.
right in the gravel, and it stopped
Right.
1 inch from my shoes. And I was like, that's what I said. I just stood there like a boss, and I was like, "Is that it?"
They
And
say that they respect those that do not show fear.
I'm telling you,
Um,
this is my people, my interdimensionals. They test us like this, right? They want to see what kind of does he have what it takes? You know what I mean? They want to know. They do play tricky. They trick us a bit too. They like to have fun with us. right?
Oh,
To them, that
the
probably,
trickster spirit is definitely involved in all this, whether we want to admit it or not. So,
for sure,
and
whatever it was trying to get a reaction out of me, and it got nothing. Okay, so I think I passed that test. But yeah,
I still can't get over that. Okay, so when that happened, did you hear breath? If something was running that fast, you would hear breath. You would hear
nothing.
breathing. No
No
breathing.
breath, no noise. I didn't feel any wind or anything. There was nothing. But I seen the movement in the rocks. Like it probably took about in feet, like actual feet hitting the ground, probably about 20 and from each foot. So about 40 steps. Or like, do you know what I mean? 40 marks in the gravel. Because there's about 20 steps, right? And it was like 2 feet running towards me, right?
Right,
Like
right.
straight out, I could see it clear as day. You know, I've had
And
so many things happen to me in my life, right? You know, I've had the interdimensional craft show itself to me, tell me that it was here to show me interdimensional technology. You know, that happened in 2012. And I like to think, I don't like to think, I'm starting to know that this stuff is all connected. Okay. My entire life, these strange events that have happened, I call them soul activation moments where the normal person, like if none of this stuff happened to me, I wouldn't be the person I am right now speaking to you. I probably wouldn't even be here. You know, like this all had to happen even for this to take place right now.
oh yeah.
You know, like it's so trippy, man. I know I'm just rambling on here, but
No, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to ramble on and share what your insights and your thoughts are. That's what you're supposed to be doing. That's what it's all about. Come on, man. So I just the revelations that keep coming, and I, I just have a hard time believing you guys don't know that you didn't notice this. I have a hard time believing it.
brother,
Mind you,
I'm having a hard
I do
time kind of
understand why.
seeing it, but I need to see better. I want to see what you're seeing, but it's so hard to see on this on this
Well, you'll see it better if you come back unless or you can ask, Seeker or somebody else, or geez, I mean, okay, so you got you got the design right. You got the design and the guy with the floor, like the face paint and stuff like that, and the designs. The Sasquatch designs that they have from there, and then there's an entity right there, and there's a mask, and you can see there's the eye. You can see the big eye and the eye. You can see the lines and everything, man. There's like a head behind the frickin' X. And it sticks out like a sore thumb.
freaking love you,
Okay,
brother.
okay. I'm going to ask anybody that's the few of you that are paying attention and listening that have no sense to be listening to us. Sound as arrogant as that may sound. Do you see the head that I see? Do you see the head
Everybody out
that
there, we
I
need your opinion.
see?
We need
Tell
your
me,
opinions. Weigh in, guys.
can you not see this dude right here? Can you not see the eye? Or should I have to do an outline? Can you not see the patterns in the face? Anyways, yay, nay, 1 for yes, 2 for no. Yay or nay? Can anybody hear me? Is anybody out there? So, anyways, so there's so much going on in this image, and then there's all these little dudes behind the tree and all that. That is so cool, dude. That is so cool. That is so freaking cool. It's maddening too, dude. I'm not. I don't want to sound so arrogant. I might not be the greatest as far as a personality goes, but I do
Dude, you're
feel
awesome,
like
man. Love you.
I give some substance to the topic, and I mean, how many people, how many shows are you going to get? When there is one, then you're going a bit of information is actually really going to be revealed. I'm not talking about another scary story to entertain you. I know this, but maybe there's like only a handful of people that really want to learn what, and everyone else just wants to be entertained. Maybe that's what it comes down to. You think that might be the case?
For sure, for sure.
Okay. And then
You
we
know,
got,
that is how it goes, right? And I got a solid group of people here that have become really good friends of mine from TikTok, and that's you're one of them, man. You are one of them.
BC
You know,
Mama's in the house.
freaking right. My people love me, man. BC Mama,
She sees
that's
it.
my
I mean,
girls.
I see the entity as clear as day, man. I mean, jeez,
We love these people, man.
it's just
I love
like
all you guys.
it's totally of like a painted up traditional what you would think of as a Sasquatch in that region. I mean, I want to convince myself that I'm just seeing things, okay? But I
I
know I'm
kind
not.
of see what you're seeing now.
I
I think
know
I
I'm
see
not
what you're
seeing
seeing.
things. You guys spend a little time looking at that, and you're like, man, that's okay, all right. You can go,
I
yeah,
get you. You're saying it kind of looks like the picture, the drawing, right? Like
yeah.
the
It's got the face, similar facial markers
I
to it,
see that, bro. I do see what you're saying now.
and you say, okay, it's pareidolia. Okay, you can say it's pareidolia all you want. And for those of us who have eyes to see,
We
we
don't
know
believe
much
in
better.
pareidolia.
Yeah, the government's, phraseology to keep people from paying attention to what's going on. That's also awesome.
Right.
Yeah, it's so awesome, dude. So this been just totally wild this whole week. So like on the 12th, I had that crazy light show
Dude, I
around.
wanted to ask you about that. I
So
heard I
it
remember you
had to
talking about that.
happen around 7:35. It started happening where I saw it when I was looking out my kitchen window. By 7:40, I was only able to take a few very bad images because it was dissipating. But also then what I thought was a saddle loon, which is one of those, high altitude satellites that they keep up there with balloon technology. And I thought maybe that was one of those things. And they just shot it down. They just because they didn't want it to land in
A saddle loon.
yeah, that's what it's called, man. This is what it's called. Most people even, saddle loon is a satellite and a balloon, saddle loon, that's what they call. And they've been around for freaking 6 decades at least. Anyways, um, but then I'm reading stuff and I'm like, shit, I actually did see an orange orb, and I didn't want to. My brain didn't process it because it was the first time that I actually saw an orb in movement. I filmed them, right? I filmed them, right? And I've seen lights in the sky that we would define as UFOs or UAPs, but couldn't tell you say one way or the other. But I'm looking back and I'm like, okay, it's like this orange hue going across the sky. It's not a light of the plane. It's not flashing. It's just traveling across. And I guess it had to be a balloon. And I'm like, dang, maybe it wasn't a balloon. Maybe I really did
Was it
see
very
an
bright? Like,
orb.
was it bright in color?
Well, you
Like,
remember
was
when it started
obviously
out
lit
on
up?
one side of the house where the kitchen window was, it lit up the top of the roofs and the telephone wall, lines, whatever the hell I'm trying to say, right? So it lit up all that, and I see this long streak, and I'm thinking to myself, is that like Elon Musk's, satellites? And shit, shit. And it was like, nah, that can't be that. and it's just and it lit up the top of the roofs, right? So I'm like, man, I gotta get my cameras. By the time I got my camera and got out to the back, it had pretty much dissipated, right? And so, but as we're going traveling east, going across the sky, it's like there was like an orange ball. There was no lights. There's no streak of lights. It's just an orange ball. Now, what's making me think that is because the first time I ever heard it of such a thing, I was listening to a program on the internet about these what's going on in the lights in Norway, and that they're having the same thing, and they show these images, and holy crap, it's the same things that I saw that Sunday. So I'm reassessing it because with all the high strangeness that's been associated with these things, and
I'm telling you, man, they're here. They are interdimensional, man, and they're intelligently guided. Okay, these things are freaking. They're not just lights. They're interdimensional craft. I've literally seen them 50 feet away, dude, and it was the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. It is burnt into my memory. I will never not see that. It was like the best way I can describe it is an absolute perfect circle.
that's
Okay.
what this was too, man. Yeah,
I mean, like there's no flaws, acts like perfect circle,
that's what I thought. It was a
30,
balloon. Yeah,
30 feet in diameter. Huge, huge freaking, it's literally pulsating, getting as bright as the sun. I know you've heard me tell this, but I got to say it for YouTube here. Bright as the sun, cools down, and you can see this orange ball glowing like red hot metal. And when it wasn't as bright as the sun, you could see a square box floating around the circle
dude, that's one of
so fast.
the cool.
You know,
Dude, this is
it's
one of the.
insane, man.
Where did you get? This is one of the coolest images I've ever seen. I'm not making this up. I've seen an awful lot of images, not on my own, but others, right, over the past 6 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is like that classic
Look at the
northwest,
X's everywhere.
lurching,
Look at where it all
lurching.
lines up.
Well, yeah, well, there's the X, right? And that would be the marking of a place where. And you guys didn't see this. It didn't register in your mind, right? You didn't see
No.
the entity as usual, but the camera was able to pick it up, and the camera picked it up. I mean, it's so brilliant. No, I mean, you could even see like the hunks, the hump of the back, the neck, so it's very cool. It's very cool. It's almost like there's like, okay, or it could be like, it looks like almost like there's a dog on top of its back.
I see so much going on, man. I see
but I
so
don't think
much.
it's a dog on his back. I think that
If
what
I
you
took
got.
a freaking, if I actually took my pictures and threw them on my iPad and drew in what I actually see, it'd be pretty cool, man. I'm gonna have to do that for another time when we chat
So
again.
this is what's going on, right? Here's the head. Here's the one hand in the far side of it, and the other side, the classic, like, okay, another way you might want to say this like a Sasquatch, like medicine woman.
Okay.
And on the other side of it, in the far side of it, you can see this is its hand, and its hand. So it's going like this. It's going like, I don't know, like this. It's going like this, right? That's what you.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And the other hand's going. I don't know if you can. I'm not trying to. If I can see if you. Anyways, let's just do it this way. So there's the hand right here. You can even see the bare part of the upper hand, where it didn't have much hair, or a lot of times they'll say that the hair will be around the wrists, that would droop over the hand, but the top of the hand um, is the gray color of the skin. There's the fingers, and it's just going down. And then there's the other one. And what's bizarre is like, because I'm sure you guys weren't even thinking of it. You was like, hey, looking at the X. It's really cool, man. Because it is cool. It's really cool. Like, I found this X. So you're not like, I'm not looking for any entities. I'm just looking at the X. But man, you hold on to that picture, because that's going to be when it finally clicks for you. You're going to be going, wow.
I'm gonna put this stuff. I'm gonna go over this. I'm gonna start going over a lot of more of my pictures.
Wow.
You know, because oh
Wow.
my, I see something wild in there. Zoom in on this spot. Go down, down, right there. Yeah, zoom in on that whole green area there.
Here.
Yeah, that looked like a face to me down there, man. Trippy. Do you see it?
I see a face. I do.
Yeah, right in there, up above. Go up.
Well, there's the
That's the
mouth.
nose. Right above that is the nose.
This is the mouth. He's got a straight
Yep.
mouth. There's the nose.
Yep.
And then he's got the
See his
like.
two green eyes? The green eyes, and his forehead is a light green.
Well, here's his eyes right here, right here.
Yeah. Two eyes, and the forehead's green too. Boom.
Well, the top of it is
boom. That's how it's done.
There is a face right there. And what's interesting, what I see is, think of animal fur headdress on top of his head.
Like a animal fur.
Yeah, I think of like a mountain man type of thing, right? Or or somebody who should use maybe using beaver pelts or something like that.
Yep. Coyote.
Or otter, probably otter pelt would probably be it right there. Otter
Fox. Listen to us, man. I'm making myself laugh here. Fox. Yep. No, I see it.
It could be fox. Yeah, we don't know, but it's obvious that's what's. And then there's like a spirit that's manifesting over it, but you can definitely see it's almost like a black and white photographic image off the rock of a face, of a head. Which 100%. Now, once again, we're dealing with the medicine. We're dealing with shamanism of the past and present, converging together. I do believe that ancients, because like what I'm thinking is a lot of people, they talk about we talked about this, the three worlds, right? There's the upper world, the middle world, and the lower world. And part of the rites and the rituals are to prepare a person and their bones and everything to go back to the stars, right? And if the rituals are not done properly, or something happens out of sync, then the soul is trapped between the underworld and the middle world. And I'm wondering if some of this is really these souls,
like the underworld,
that are trapped here. They're like, hey, we're still trapped here. Can somebody set us free so we go back to the stars?
I thought of that today when I was thinking about what we were going to talk about, that's what would actually be happening. That all these things that we see, because we could literally take a picture of freaking leaves and see thousands of faces in them. Okay, so what if this whole existence that we live in is made up of these ancestor spirits that are they're everywhere, man. This unseen world our world is made up of them. It's so wild, right?
Yeah, the ethereal realm, I do believe, and we call electricity, energy. A lot of it is actually is the composition of multiple dimensions and energetic forces all combined together. And I do believe, okay, at this point, I know it sounds archaic. I come from a Western, a Greco-Roman Greco-American scientific background, right? So for me to say what I'm about to say, so a lot had changed in my life to be at 55 to say this, but I do believe that the weather, the air, the things that we experience, the weather phenomena, in a large part is influenced by what we call generically the spiritual realm.
100%.
And what does that mean? I mean, what that means is that there's just like we're in a swirling vortex of spirits at different times in different realms, all interacting at once. And
Man,
because and so that's what we're dealing with.
so
So I
much
mean,
going on here, bro. Sorry to I know we're just jumping on each other here, but like,
that's okay.
look
That's
at
the whole.
down. Okay, where's your mouse? Go to the left. Right now, left again in that area right there. Look at the eyes and nose in there. There's like 4 or 5 of them in there, but look at the big one. He's looking right at us on an angle.
Right here, there's one eye right there and right there. I know. Yeah, I see him.
And then the whole thing, right from there, then go in a big circle, pretty much the whole screen. Yep. Nope. That right there, that whole area in a little circle, that area, like it's hard to say. Okay, wait, stop.
In the shadows is where you'll
It's
find
like
them.
not even the shadows, the entire thing, bro. We're using the stick, the green part, the everything. Okay, if you go, oh man, I wish I could control that shit.
I know. There's like a bunch right here. I could tell you. I know there's
Literally, it's like, this section like this, and it's that part where I just showed you, and oh man, it's a straight up. It looks like Squatch face, man.
right here.
Yeah, right there. That whole area. Boom. If you zoom in on that, you'll see what I'm talking about.
It's funny how my shows end up being people just breaking down images.
I love it.
Hey, look what I see, man. Look what I see. And like, yeah, man, I know.
In the middle of that, that's the nose. You see what I'm saying? That is the nose.
Yeah.
Underneath that is the mouth.
Oh, there's the teepee structure going on up. Yeah.
Right? This whole thing is creating it. The whole, like the green part, the brown part, the other green part, it's all in it. Boom. You see what I'm saying? I know you see what I'm saying.
Yeah, I see.
Who am I asking here? Like, O.R.D. sees it, man. He sees everything. The 14M right here.
That's me, man. On the hermit. On the guy that lives on the edge, the fringe.
Hey, bro, we're part of the fringe up here.
The tribe is interested in me, but does not want me to be part of the tribe. That's what I discovered.
Dude, you're part of my tribe. I don't give a fuck what anybody says.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
Do you mind if I say, I don't even know if I should say this.
Say what?
Remember we were talking about those guys that in the industry that we don't really like.
Yeah, I mean, don't, if you want to name names, it's up to you. It's
Nah, you know what? We're just gonna keep that out. We're gonna keep it classy. We're gonna keep it classy.
I mean, I don't know what's the point of really bringing up the names. I mean, it's like
they're useless.
It always used to come back to haunt you. And here's the way it would come back to haunt you. What if you find out like 3 years from now they changed? Because how many times do people change?
Exactly. There you go.
You know what I mean? The people change in the course of time. Some will freeze too, but many people do end up changing.
That's really a part of the journey here, is to help some of these people do change, right? If they can You
And
know,
just
it is.
allow everyone to be on their own journey and not be so dogmatic about you must see it my way, dang it. Like you must see that freaking
Not about that.
that female shamanic Sasquatch there. You must see it.
It just so happens to
I
be
see
that
it as
me and you
blind
see
as
things a lot alike,
day.
so we get along, right?
What's going on in this image here, man?
Okay. The one thing that it really stuck out to me, go up. Where is it? Let me see. Is that the one? Yeah, right there. Scroll down. Oh, sorry. Okay, so zoom in. Keep zooming. Okay, see this big giant moss branch right underneath it? Right there. Scroll in on that area.
Right here.
Yep. This is the main thing that caught my eye in this picture. You're gone too far. Zoom in right there. No, like right there. Yeah, zoom in right there. Those are eyes and a nose underneath that branch, looking at us on an angle, looking at us from like the left towards the right.
Okay.
Do you see what I'm saying right there? Yeah, right there. There's
One
two
eye.
eyes underneath there and a nose
Yeah.
in that little patch of darkness, little square of dark spot there. Like he's hiding behind all the shrubbery, right? You can only see like this part of his face looking
Is that his
down.
mouth with his teeth right there?
I don't know. Look at me. I'm like, he's like this, right? Right.
It's a little crooked.
Right
It could be his mouth, his teeth right there. That'd be his nose.
No, not what I mean, I get what you're saying, but what I'm seeing is I don't know if you're seeing what I'm seeing there, bro.
I don't
Like
know.
he's literally directly underneath. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. I wish I could. Maybe I can. I don't think I can do that. I'm on my phone.
Is this the face right here?
Yes, yes. Those are two eyes and a nose.
So it's not this big face, it's this little face. Okay.
Yes, yes. He's peeking at us through the shrubs. Those are ferns, and then that is literally a little spot on the other side of the valley. There's a little valley there, right? And that little section that's dark there is way further in the back than the other area. Is like it's a totally, they're not together, right? There's a little section that is in the distance. He's literally watching us. Like I have a video of the area. I'm gonna go back there and make a better video, and I'll definitely take you in and check it out. And I'll even show you guys the area and zoom in on this. Like I bet you anything when I go back there, I'll find this exact same area. I know exactly where I was standing when I shot this, and I will show you guys. I bet you anything that's gone.
Is that a forest spirit or a Sasquatch?
Either or, but I bet you it's gone when I go back there.
Wait. Sheldon says he's that's a good one, he says. And he says, I see two.
That's just the one. That's just one that I see, right? Like I bet you there's so much going on. Like I haven't really gone over these pictures like this, right? Like, do you see, what do you see in there? O.R.D here? What do you see?
What do I see?
Yes, what does he see?
What does I see?
Everybody in the room, if you're still in here, everybody, freaking love you guys, man. Everybody in the room, the chat. We appreciate you guys being here, taking the time out of your guys' night to chill with me and Mr. Michael Adams O.R.D here.
Yeah, especially with me. Anybody wants to chill with me, right? Right, Sheldon? Anybody
Dude,
wants
I
to
like
chill with
you.
Mike Adams?
I think
What
you're
the
a
heck?
great dude. I
Um,
think you're a great dude, man.
I know. I'm just having fun. I don't know if I'm a great
I
dude,
gotta,
but
I gotta say it though, man.
I don't know if I'm a great dude, but I do appreciate the warm, kind stuff. What are these like? Kind of like tree leans, tree bends. I don't know what I see. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know. I
There's
see.
so much you can see, man.
I
Really, you
see.
gotta.
I see a lot of green. There's probably something right here.
Do you see what I'm saying though with that face? And
Yeah.
look at
I
that right there, right there. Go down.
see where I see a face right here. See, this is the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
This is the big head, right? You see, this is the forehead. So here's the eyebrow. Here's an eyebrow. Here's one eye. Here's another eye. You can even see the
Oh
pupils there.
yeah.
You can
Yep.
see
I
the
see him.
nose. All
Definitely.
right. It's got kind of like the Fu Manchu whiskers to it.
Yep.
Uh,
I see him.
um, so I can see
Clear as
that.
day.
I can see that one as clear as day. That one I can see, and then I can see where you're coming here from here, which
Mm-hmm.
would make sense because if you put the two together, they're like two of the, probably the similar spirits.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen these Fu Manchu things before, and it's kind of, or that would be kind of like somebody might describe it as a cat like spirit. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, it sticks out like a sore thumb for me.
Oh, totally. 100%, man. I see it clear as day. It's funny. Once you see these things, you just can't unsee them, man. You
Directly to
know,
the
like, and
left
I
of
see
there, there
more and
are
more in
great
there. I wish I
faces
had
with a
control of
dome
that.
shaped head. Directly to the left of it. Sheldon said there's somebody with dome shaped head directly to the left of it. Well, there
Oh,
is a dude right here.
I don't know
You
what
see
happened there. I think it paused out there. Your connection or something happened there.
what happened?
It went all. Everything went black for me.
Are you back?
I'm back. We're back, brother.
I'm back in the shade on ground. Okay, that one is for definite for sure. That's a brilliant image right there for sure. Um,
Right there in the blackness, man. And look in the black. And look at the tie. I always see these
might
little
be a guy
faces
right
too.
here, a little guy right there.
100%. 100%. The black. The black. There's another one right there in the dark.
It's not fair to give you guys. I have to do all this work now. Okay. Now that we spend our time looking at some really amazing images, let's talk more about some stuff here. So I had this weird experience, and I don't know how much I should really spend too much time about my own self here, but so tell us about your place. Tell us about your location. Tell us about a little bit of your history of where you live in BC. What is it? What are the what is the legends and what are some of the legends and what are some of the traditions and what is some of the folklore and mentality and sentimentality of the people in the area? Does that make sense? In other words, tell us what is it like being in your area?
What is it like being in my area?
I mean,
Um,
but let's think with this. I know I'm not worried about the social
no, no, I get you,
issues.
brother. I
I'm
get
talking
you.
about this part of your reality. Wait, tell me about it.
The Sasquatch, eh? This area, there's many stories of the Sasquatch, right? And a lot of these cultures, like
Not all
the
of
the
them.
Salish people, they believe it's like a spirit-like form. you know.
Can I answer the question real fast? Then to keep that thing. Think about it. BC, Mama, you obviously know each other. And
Hmm.
the question is, do spirits look similar to the Sasquatch? Some spirits look similar to Sasquatch. The vast majority of them, from my experiences, they don't. What do you say?
Um, I think they can possibly travel or like come to you in that kind of form, but
Shapeshift, that's for sure. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, there's all sorts of things that they have many abilities and that we just, you know, most of us can't even comprehend this stuff, right? So
But the thing
yeah,
is, if
there's
it's
definitely a possibility to that,
so,
but I
here's the other
wouldn't say
thing
they're
called, when it
fully.
comes to spirits, is that think of that spirits are like infinite number of times more diverse than all the animals, biological animals on this planet. So if you think of the millions upon millions of different types of single cell organisms, all the way up to very complicated life forms like the whale, the man, and etc., then just add that by, I don't know if there is even a possibility. So the odds of there being an infinite amount of different looking spirits within your woods are extremely high. In fact, it's guaranteed because they're
Think
being
about the
multiple.
amount of you know, people that have lived and passed away here in our world, and the amount of spirits that would be here is insane when you think about it. You know, think about how many people spirits are here.
Oh, yeah, but remember we got these intermingling, overlapping, uh, you know, ultra dimensions, interdimensions, spiritual realms, layers, and so it's like I said, it's this swirling pool, vortex of all these different beings from different times and places and all that kind of stuff. So
So
it's
let's talk a little bit about. Well, I
BC.
kind of thinking about this stuff right now, but we're talking about Sasquatch and what it's like. You know, I've had, you know, I say this to you all the time. I have a connection with Sasquatch it's not like many people have. You know, I have this interdimensional Sasquatch partner, guide, as I like to say. And the first time I was ever told about my Sasquatch guide, I was told her name. Her name is Sarariah. It's spelled Sarariah.
I spell it again. Uh-huh.
Sarariah.
Okay.
Okay, the first time I was told about this, I literally had something that had never happened to me in my entire life. Okay, something grabbed me by the head, and it was like a giant hand placed on top of my head, all the fingers like this, just like massaging my head. So right then, I mean, I knew like something was going on, right? Like there's something to this, right? And the Sasquatch that I apparently seen, that was her, showed herself to us, gave us this rock and stick. Okay, the footprint. This is apparently her child. She's about 30 years old. She has a child. This is what I was told. So basically, ever since I found this stuff out, I've been seeing a lot more things that are, and it's all connecting, right? All these things that have happened to me my entire life. The I've seen like the interdimensional craft, you know, I believe it was possibly them coming to me. There's stories of the Sasquatch showing up in these UFO type crafts, okay, in British Columbia, where I live, right here in the valley here, okay. And the more I think about it, I think because I have this guide, I think they've been connected to me my entire life. And all this stuff we think that I thought was paranormal, growing up, I think it was them. They were literally just not messing with me, but they literally, that's how they have fun with you, right? Like they could make your freaking lighter disappear and bring it back and put it like a day later, put it right where you thought it was. That's them doing that to you.
Well, shoot. Yeah. I mean, look what happened to my hubcaps to my tire this week.
This is what I'm saying, Mike.
My people don't even know about this.
They do these things to you. They gotta get kicked somehow, man. As funny as it sounds, like they're simple. They're very simple people. Okay? Very simple people. But they need to have fun too. And sometimes it comes at the expense of our comfort or whatever it may be, right?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's like, one of the things that you got me thinking about was my first encounter with Bigfoot. And I was with that crow medicine man.
Why don't you tell everybody your story about that, man? Because my people would love to hear it, I'm sure. All my people in the chat here. Like
it's long. So it's long, so it will take all night. So but
the gist of it.
I'll just say a little bit about it. And that is like 2017, it was the beginning of August. The night before, I talked to my big brother. My big brother has seen Sasquatch in Northern California. And I was like, Eric, I don't think these things are what everyone is saying they are. I said, I think they're spiritual. They're spirit in nature. They're not more than anything. And my big brother said, well, now that you know this, if you know this, then don't be surprised. You'll start running into indigenous people, Native Americans, right? And I'm like, okay. And because the reason why is because they know that we're dealing with multi-dimensional beings. We're not dealing with something that is simply a flesh and blood thing. We just go out there and hunt them down and kill them, right? And so that's bizarre. Anyways,
I'm seeing stuff too, bro.
I'm seeing it the head's upside down. The thing is, so 24 hours later, okay, and I live in a part of town and a part of the country in Northwest Ohio where the closest thing to probably a Native American is myself, who I have, I'm part Ojibwe and Cherokee, based on my grandma, but on my dad's side. And so I'm like, well, I don't know how this is ever going to happen because like the closest to any like tribal land is like up in northern Michigan and that. And
it's in your blood.
I went to go get a pizza. And when the thing is, prior to that, I knew about a teepee structure just down the hill from where I was going to get the pizza. And so I get the pizza. I didn't feel like eating. I didn't feel like cooking. And so I was like, okay, well, I'll get a cheap $5 little, Caesar's pizza. It's awful.
Hot and ready.
Absolutely, it's really bad for you. But at the time, I was like, I just was too busy doing stuff like I usually do. I guess so busy researching and doing stuff. I'm one of those type of people that forget to feed myself. I get so busy, I'll just be like, did I even eat today? Oh, okay, yeah. Anyways, so I come out of Little Caesars, and lo and behold, walking up the hill, up the street is the dude that I know 100% is Native American. I did spend time in Northern California as a forest firefighter and was a younger man. So I spent time next to a bunch of Navajos and tribes from up in Alaska and all that. And I'm like, holy crap, there's a dude that looks just like a Native American. My brother just prophesied the night before that I was going to run across Native Americans. Maybe we should go talk to him. So anyways, in the course of time, I talked to him. We end up going to a cemetery right where I have been seeing heads pop up out of the ground, where there's a place where I believe was a nest. Anyways, and the within that within an hour of me meeting the guy, we're having a 9-10 foot tall Sasquatch or Bigfoot. I don't even know if we have the same things as you guys have at all. You know what I mean? But it's similar. We
We
call
do,
them
bro.
grassmen or we call them Bigfoot, but they're not. I don't know if they're really the same thing as Sasquatch. But regardless, it doesn't really matter. That's not the point. The point is, this thing got 15 feet in front of my face, crawling up the ravine, and I'm standing next to a guy that's going by the name of Crow. He says he's a Crow medicine man, and I don't know him. I'm not feeling in fear towards the Bigfoot. I'm feeling like really uneasy about the dude standing next to me, right? And
Yeah.
and I can't tell you, explain to you why that is, except it wasn't based on logic or reason, because none of it was logical what was going on that hour.
Yeah.
But you and I talking about it, I strongly believe that actually that Bigfoot saved my life,
I
because
think
that
so too,
that
man.
Crow medicine man was a practitioner of dark arts, and as I was driving him home, allegedly home, he's bragging about these ritual in which they involved human sacrifice, and it was a 15-year-old girl and all this, and it's like, really, dude? I mean, how can you live with yourself? Actually, you can. One of these days, I'll share the story again. Eventually, I mean, you can go to my YouTube channel, look, and
I
just.
know the story, man. I know it. It is.
I
It's
think
wild, man.
was it found faith through Bigfoot or something like that is what it is, or faith, something like that, whatever. So, it was somebody else's. It was actually my Sean G.
Blue. Sheldon said
Prayers out to
blue.
Sean G. I hope he's doing good as well, because he didn't do a show last Wednesday, and he didn't do one last week, I don't think either, or at least he didn't do Saturday. So I hope he's okay, buddy. If you hear this, buddy, if you do, my prayers are, my best wishes, and may the Lord of all spirits protect you and bless you, man. I know you've gone through a lot. Anyways, so it's a long story. I don't want to talk about it. The point in all of it is I believe, after talking to you and just having that conversation, and it snapped us. Actually, the Bigfoot saved my life.
I think
Now
so.
we go to this past week, right? What's going on in which two of my doctor's appointments were okay? So Monday, I was late to my dentist appointment, right? And there's only in most places, if you're 10 minutes, 15 minutes late, they're still going to take you, right? But they said, "Oh no, we can't do it." It's okay, which turned into this really cool thing, because then I ended up filming all these amazing images of spirits and some things that look like I would argue would be our equivalent of a Sasquatch or Bigfoot in my area. And then yesterday I'm supposed to go see a new doctor, because I like the guy. I used to really like the guy, but the past 3 years I do not want to spend my time. I don't want anybody that's been supportive of the insanity that's been going on the past 3 years. I do not want to support you. Okay.
Yeah.
I've seen the damage done in my own personal life, what happened to my mom. I know people that are magnetic because of it. You won't listen to us. You're trying to still make us wear masks. You're still trying to convince us that there's something going on when it never was going on in the first place. I don't want nothing to do with you. So I got this new doctor that I was hoping to see. And so, but I was supposed to see him to the office as close to me, but they booked me for an office that was on the other side of town. And I come out of my house, and my front tire is like, it's only got like, I find out when I get to the tire man shop that it's like only got 10 pounds of pressure in it. It's basically flat, almost flat. And it's like, I couldn't go if I would have went and drove to the other side of town with those tires. If I would have hit a pothole or something, it could have caused a terrible accident and caused me so much grief, right? So, so I have to go by the tire man shop and get air in my tires to find what's going on. Well, it turns out, lo and behold, somehow, and I remember the guy that actually put the tires on or the rims on. I don't, that was 2 months ago. So based on the fact, so what he did is he put the rims, my hubcaps, excuse me, on top of the valve, um, the pin.
Yeah, the valve, air valve.
Stem. And so nobody would do that. Nobody would be that stupid to do that, right? I mean, unless somebody just decided they wanted to be spiteful to me for some reason, who knows? But they didn't know me for any reason to be spiteful. We may have a bad day with the boss or something like that, but still, that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't take any effort to line up your hubcap with the valve stem and make sure. And if it takes a little bit of effort actually to put the hubcap over that valve stem, I mean, you hit doing it intentionally. So anyway, somehow the hubcaps on two of my tires, on my driver's front tire and the passenger and the back left tire, all those hubcaps had been shifted over the valves, and there's no force, just driving down the road. Just because once the hubcap is locked in, it's not going to move no matter what, right? So, but something or someone decided to move those things over my valves, causing there to be basically almost flat. And so it stopped me from going to my doctor's appointment, which I'm thinking, well, is this happening again? Are they protecting me from
seeing the wrong doctor at the wrong time to get the wrong diagnosis or some kind of information given to you?
I know it sounds really bizarre because it's like what he's saying. You're saying that Sasquatch actually, you're trying to claim that Sasquatch is protecting you from a human being, and I'm saying there might just be exactly what just happened.
100%.
Because
You know what? The
it
fact
all
that
lined up
comes
so
to
bizarrely. But no, here's the
it's what
thing.
it is, man.
So then in the end, it also forced me to start working on my images, and I took some more images in my backyard in which I filmed some more entities and cool images. And I'm just like, because listen, I don't do it that often. It might sound like I'm out there in the field all the time taking. I don't. I might go, honestly, like in the past 2 days, Monday, and the few images I took on Thursday, and a couple I took on. I mean, you put it all together, I spent maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes of my life this whole year, January to February, filming anything or doing anything. I don't really go field researching anymore. I'm 55 and I got, health issues, and I don't need to. They're all around me anyways. I know where they are. So, I mean, it's not like that difficult thing for me to film stuff. You know what I mean? When you're young bucks, I mean, I think it's just a wonderful opportunity to get closer to the creator and the creation, right? And I strongly encourage you guys to do it. But when you're like in my situation, there's no point. That's nothing to prove. I don't need to prove anything. I mean, there's places I have been, but I've been there, done it when it comes to knowing that these things are real, right? So, I mean, you could never convince me in a million years that they're not real because I know they're real.
Yeah, we just go out there to get out there and, like you said, connect with the fucking creator and the creation for sure. We love it. We're going out tomorrow morning. We're going to a very, very special spot. And there will be a video obviously made, but we're not going to tell anybody about this spot because it's kind of a secret location.
Well, you got that one location's got a lot of the right elements, running
Dude,
water, rocks,
you guys
trees.
haven't seen nothing yet. And I'm
The amount
telling
of
you.
electrical, the amount of electromagnetic energy in that area must be extremely
Well,
powerful.
the whole, like that missing 411 whole, all that kind of stuff, this area is like, for the amount of people that live here, more missing 411 cases happen here, like weird, strange disappearances than anywhere in the world. Okay, more UFO sightings, more Sasquatch sightings. Probably more paranormal incidences. This whole area, they call it supernatural British Columbia for a reason. I say that, right? Because this is what they call it. Because it is literally supernatural, right? In general.
Yeah, there's a lot of spirits in this picture, especially the base of the tree. That's interesting. So, and you look and then you zoom away from it, and you're like, those spirits aren't that big. So that's
No.
why they're not the Sasquatch. At least I don't know how to say this. I don't believe that they're Sasquatch. I think they're forest spirits, the elemental spirits,
Yeah.
and forest spirits, and they are associated with Bigfoot, and there always will be associated with Sasquatch, and
For sure.
and with shamanism, and with the creation itself, right? I mean, it didn't, the shamans for hundreds, they say hundreds of thousands, but we'll say, just maybe say tens of thousands of years. They didn't just do all this stuff just because they didn't have anything else better to do. You know what I mean? There was a reason why they did all this stuff and held these rites and rituals and were interacting with the spirit realm for many reasons. And it wasn't just because they were just a bunch of Satanists and they were evil and all that kind of stuff, although there were evil ones, just like there always will be in this dualistic system. There's times in that each and every one of us are good and evil. And most of the time we're in the middle somewhere. But there's people that are I believe in this creation are designed to do evil and the others to do good.
You know what?
For
It
skips the
only
rule.
makes sense in a universe of, like we say, duality and balance, right? It makes sense that there would be.
I think Seeker's taking out, huh? Taking off.
You know? All right, brother.
Bailing out, man. I don't want to hear this guy's nonsense.
We'll
No, I'm
see.
kidding.
He's going to get up early. We're both getting up early. We're leaving at 8 a.m. to go. It's going to snow tomorrow here in British Columbia. Again, it's been -8 here. I've been freezing my ass off at work. I got burnt from the wind and the cold, right? Much of my face is red. It's cold right now. And tomorrow we're going squatching at 8 a.m. to this area we were talking about. And it's going to be amazing. I can't wait to get in there, guys. But yeah.
There's always just you guys do what you want to do, but can I give you some unsolicited advice?
Yeah, say what you need to say, bro.
It would be a good idea to designate one dude as being like the cameraman that's running the video, right? And have the other
Mhm.
guy have another guy that's learns how to take stills because you're going to get a lot more images, believe it or not,
You know what I try to do now?
with stills.
Because like Seekers does his own thing, I do my own thing, of course, right? We're just doing our own things here. We're just homies, right? So when I do make my videos, I'm trying to, there's a screenshot, button so that I can tap it while I'm making my video, right? So yeah, I've been doing that a lot more lately, so I can get those pictures myself while I'm filming areas, right?
Right.
But yeah, I get what you're saying. I know what you're saying, man. Because
Or the other thing is you don't have to necessarily do it, or just, it might be just try yourself to say, okay, I'm gonna, because if you're only making like say maybe 5-10 minute videos anyways, designate X amount of space for your camera for stills and make videos. You know what I mean? Because you'd be
Mhm.
surprised how many more images you're going to get? Because it's basically what we're looking at is a still, right?
See, this is the thing too, right? Like I said, I'm really new at this whole seeing all the faces and stuff like that in these pictures. I wasn't really into that before.
Well,
So it's
that's
like
what
new
you
for
know.
me.
After you can only stomach so many tree structures and footprints, and you're just like, okay, what's causing this stuff? What's really going on there? You know what I mean? And that's where this, and it's funny. Like people say, well, the pictures don't mean anything. Well, that does mean something, and that guy really does mean something because that guy's got eye markings just like the one that's behind that X structure,
Mm-hmm.
right? You see the eye markings and all that around?
Mm-hmm.
He's so, and then right, so, and they seem you're able because of the camera, the way a camera is designed, you get you get just better images when you take a still. You end up getting this amazing dude right here,
That guy's
right?
awesome, man. That's such a good one, man. Like when I see it now, it's like holy, right? It's even a
Yeah,
mile away. Like,
yeah.
yeah, man.
And I mean, and so yeah, it's and so, and I'll give you an example. Okay, so, and I'm not just tooting my horn or anything. There's nothing special about me, as usual. No one will contest that. They won't say, "Oh, no, no, my kid's the most amazing thing ever was." No. So here, so there's the picture I took that Monday. It is now 1:58. Okay. So you can see that now it's like basically a half an hour, uh, like that, maybe 40 minutes. The time of me being a doctor's appointment. So I come back. Then this is a location. This is a cemetery, and the other side of the cemetery where I had my first encounter of
Can I
Bigfoot.
ask you one thing quickly before we get into this? What do you think about cemeteries? And have you ever like been to them and taken pictures there and gotten anything interesting?
Yeah,
Like, is this in a cemetery?
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, I get most of my best images. In fact, all the images that you saw this week that are new came from this cemetery. So on the different. Okay, so anyway, so you look at this image here, and this is what's so cool. I want you to train your eyes about stuff. So, and that looks like nothing, right? Just a bunch of trees and nothing going on here. Why is there nothing going on in this? So you look and
Sorry,
you look.
man. I lost you. I lost you again for a moment there, but I'm back.
So you're looking around and you're going, well, I wonder if there's anything in this. And you start looking around, and then, hey, could this be something right here? And so then you look in a little bit closer, and you'll see two eyes, and there's the head and the mouth. You can even see his fingers. There's one finger right here. There's two fingers right here. There's three fingers right here. You can even see the wrist. Okay. So where are we going with this? Let me find the. And so this is the broad daylight, right? So anybody can do this.
Okay.
The biggest thing is having a decent enough camera, right? I'm not tweaking this image, but this is the head. There's the dark reset eyes. There's the white face. There's right. There's the black in his hair. And is that a Bigfoot? I don't think that's a Bigfoot.
These are elemental spirits, man. Like you said, I believe that too, right? I mean, for the most part, Sasquatch isn't showing themselves, but they can move in and out of trees and rocks and stuff like that. A Sasquatch can. We know that. Me and you both know this.
Right. If you
But
look closer,
for the
and you
most
can start.
part, these things are spirits coming out of there. I would say. I see that. I see it.
You can see the eyeballs when you close in. You can
Don't you
see
see
the
the mini
retinas.
one on its forehead?
Oh yeah, they always stacking
They're,
up, right? They always,
they're always stacking up, man. Always.
but here's the thing: there's one of his hands, those long fingers, right? It's ghoulish, and it's just sitting there. He's got his head
iPhone,
like it's
man.
like his
iPhone.
head's like pinned in between that tree. And you guys, can you see what I'm seeing? Hey, what's going on, Diesel? It has the man's in the house. So there's this point. So you can see
Diesel, welcome, Diesel.
the wrists, you can see the fingers. It's really, once you start, okay, so I should look for hands as long with heads, but you can see the thing. So, and it's not small either, but it's not huge. It's just, let's see. And I just want to point this out. There's the head.
Yep.
There's his hand. And there's a couple things to learn about here. It's high up in a tree. And people, I just see that the mistake happened over and over again. People refuse to look up. I don't know. I think it's part of our conditioning. I think it's, um, because we're like conditioned to always look down at the ground. It's like hard for us to look at the chaos in the trees. So what I do for me is I will just randomly take pictures. I don't. Then Monday I took maybe 3 dozen pictures total.
Jerrod. Sorry, I'm just reading some comments here. Caught some wolf tracks yesterday out in the woods, yet we're not supposed to have them here in Jersey.
Of course. The officials, you can count them on everything, can't you? Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, man.
So my point is, if you look at that, and it's the point is to look to train your eyes to see the anomalies, the oddities, the things that stick out.
The
And
way
in
you
particular, the
see
shadows.
things, you see things different than anybody else I've ever seen do this kind of stuff. The way you see things after you point them out to me, it's like, holy man, yeah, I do see that.
This is the same day in the
And they're
same.
different.
This is the
They're
same day
different than
within.
anybody else's. The way I see them, like you see things way different than I see them, and vice versa, right? It's so cool.
I think everyone has. That's why we should work together. I mean, like Diesel sees things a little different than everyone else. Is a piece of the puzzle as well.
That's
I
right.
believe a very important piece of puzzle. Like this is the very same day, the very same 15-minute period where I caught this big film this and his buddy right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then all
Can
these
I say something quickly?
I filmed this
Speaking
guy
of
the
these,
same day too, right? In a different tree.
oh yeah,
You see, there's one eye, there's another eye. You can see there's his.
no, I see him.
And of course, his spirit. So why is it blurry? Because he's a spirit.
Now I
It's
seen
spirit.
something strange the other day, man. That was, I believe, was a Sasquatch. My normal area. We weren't in that area. We were in a total different area, and on our way to the mountain, literally, we're going about 50 kilometers an hour, 100 yards from the dirt where it turns gravel, the mountain road. There's people's yards, right? Country yards. And I look to the right, and I see this hulking figure. Okay, literally like the Hulk, like built like the Hulk, huge barrel chest, just giant, arms out, classic hulking figure. Pitch black, as black as my shirt, black, right? No features. It was like a silhouette. And it was there, and it was just as fast as it was there, it was gone.
Makes
Literally,
sense.
it was there, and then it was gone. And I mean, it was 100% a big guy, for sure. So, I mean, they can show themselves in many ways. I've never seen one like that before. It was more like a shadow-like form. Okay.
Well, actually, that's probably the most common one, right? Is the shadow form.
Not for myself, but I see I seen it now, man, with my own eyes. So I know.
So now this is the one that you guys are debating whether it was a cutout or not.
Yes.
Did you guys go back to it and it's
Yeah.
determined, and there was no cutout there? So
Yeah. There's nothing there at all.
at least then you saw one, man. There you go, in
Right.
broad daylight. And I don't know how they do that. Was it really sunny out that day?
Yeah, it was clear as day, sunny,
Why
beautiful
is it
day.
that during a really sunny day, how do they jet black? You know what I mean? How can they be that way? You know? Or if you do like I filmed this guy on a sunny day. I wonder if I could show you how ridiculous it was. Uh, and here's the thing. This is how good they are at hiding. You will not believe that big sucker in that tree where its location was, because it's like super close to people's houses.
Oh yeah. No, I get you.
Okay, so this
When
is
it comes
where
to
it's
this
at.
kind of thing,
Again,
it can be anywhere, obviously, right? I bet you could take pictures inside my house and find these, spirits in here.
so
Have you
there's
ever
like a
thought about
house
that?
right here. Oh yeah, I don't.
Like inside your house?
Yeah,
Or is that gonna like freak you out a bit?
I've took a couple pictures, but I'm like, I'm not inviting that to my house. You guys have
Yeah, I'm
your
not fucking giving that
territory.
away.
I don't spend all my time in your place. I don't go tromping in your neighborhood, so you don't come into my neighborhood. It's my place. You know what I mean? So, anyways, this is this is the dude right here. You can see there's the white, he's big eyes. There's his little buddy, right?
Yeah.
And it's not the most impressive. Admittedly, it's not the most impressive, although I think it's amazing with the hands and everything. The one hand right there, his head, because it looks just like the one Mike films, right? And I
Hmm.
filmed it after talking to him. So, but we'll zoom out again. And by the way, there's more entities in this picture, right? There's a big one right here as well, but I wanted to focus on this one. This is how subtle and how they can hide in the middle of a town in broad daylight, and nobody even know they're there. And the truth of the matter is, one out of 1,000, I bet you 1 out of 10,000 people at any given time are even looking up into the trees in the community. And it's only for a very short.
I don't look up enough. I don't look up enough, even when I'm out in the forest. I'm always looking ahead and like behind myself. You
And
barely
down to make
remember
sure
to
you don't
look
trip,
up.
right, and break your neck. So I mean, that's so yeah. I mean, the thing is, when I'm in, you don't have to spend all your time looking up.
No,
Yeah,
no, no. But I mean,
because
you
the
should.
chaos, this
More shots, though, right? More shots.
they hide in the chaos of the
For sure.
branches and the leaves and in the
Why
tree,
wouldn't
right?
they, right?
Right. It's like actually it's much safer up in the trees, ironically, than it is down on the ground where you have a greater chance of having somebody run across you. Right.
Hmm. Hmm.
If you're flesh and blood or in the flesh and blood state. Now let's go back now to the trees being like it's like their gas station. It's like the charging port is like it's the UBS cord for them, right? They hook
Yep.
up to the tree to recharge themselves for the night's activities, right? So it's just sitting there, it's just recharging, living off the life force of these trees and
Entire.
whatever comes out, but I mean it's right there, and you can see how I mean I wouldn't have known that it was even there if I didn't take the picture. I wouldn't
No,
have known that.
exactly. You never notice this stuff, right?
I couldn't even
Not while
see
you're
it.
there. Never. You never would.
But because I did, I was in the right spot. I allowed them to put. I believe that now, man, this is the dentist
Is this
appointment. I'm
like
supposed to.
inside
Right now,
the?
I'm supposed to be having a dentist appointment right now, right? this is the gift they give me, right? I do believe they created the circumstances so that I couldn't, so that
You were there at that moment to take that picture
running
because
just a
of
little
all
bit
the
late.
delays and the things that happened to you, man. You got up at that certain time of the day, everything aligned perfectly for you to take that shot at that time.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what they do to all of us that are in the know. And so
100%.
where you have to be willing to recognize it and say, okay, all right, so all these weird synchronistic events are happening. What is it that I'm supposed to be doing? Oh, okay, go get my camera. I wasn't really wanted to do that today, but okay, I'll go get my camera. Okay, well, okay, let's go look and take some pictures. Over there are the railroad tracks for that pseudo teepee structure, and then okay, well, I haven't been there in a while. I like to always go by the place because it was the first encounter I had, and it just I think part of it is facing my fears too. I for like 3 years I did not want to come back to this location, right? And I'm like, I live in this town too. Why can't I come and just visit the place? So I've slowly accepting that they're there, that I have a right to spend some time there too. It's not like I'm cavorting with these things or trying to become best friends with them, for better or worse, whatever you may say. But it's like, I'm not saying you in particular, Jerrod, and so anybody who hears this, it's just your choice how you want to interact with these things. For me, I would like to have some distance.
It's like I know, right? Like this is why I say, and we've talked about this before. Like I know I'm connected to different kinds, right? And we know there are different kinds out there because the one that I seen, is my Sasquatch. Okay, I know the vibrations that I felt from them. Literally, they've given me waves of energy, dude. That I can't even explain how they feel. Okay, it's literally like when it literally grabbed me. It's the weirdest sensation, man. It's tingling. It literally was like almost like pins and needles, but times 1,000, man. And it's like it was like a giant hand. And then I had another time they grabbed me on the side here, like on the side of my side here under my arm, right? And then 2 weeks ago we were up the mountain, and I was getting this really creepy vibe. It was an area where people have gone missing up there. Missing 411 cases happened there, and I ended up asking to leave that area. So we went to a different part of the mountain, and I ended up asking when I was by myself for like healing, and it just hit me all of a sudden like a wave, man. Literally from head to toe, crazy vibrations, man, like inside my chest, and it was like vibrating through my whole body, man. Like these
Now
are my
you
people.
you grew up in this specific area, right?
Yeah.
And so when I say that, how within what square mile radius are we talking about from where you grew up and you had activity and spent time in the woods? How close you were to all these as a kid? Were you tromping around in the same area as a child that you ended
Yeah.
up having your experiences and your encounter?
Yeah, 100% all the time.
But by the way, we never even talked about your encounters. That's one thing we have to do at some point. um, if- because for me too, this is like this is the town that I grew up in as well. And I was one of the few I was the one that was always outdoors. And many a time when I was outdoors, go down the creek, playing around in the creek or in the field or whatever in the woods, I was the only one in the woods or by the creek. I was the only one out, period. And I wonder if these things from the very get-go,
They're with you.
yeah, they themselves,
100%.
uh, although there was not reciprocated, there was a kind of a bond that they made, or familiarity with me, that
Mhm.
allows me to maybe have a little more interaction with these things, or insight. You know what I mean? Not because of anything special, just because of circumstances. Just things happen the way, synchronicity once again. It just it just happened the way it did. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And then
It's
whenever,
weird. It's weird not to like jump in, but I think about these this thing that happened to me as a kid. We were kids, and I remember this, and I don't know, maybe it was something else, but hello, what happened there? Oh, you're moving.
oh, it's just me. I'm just, don't worry about it.
Okay, so when me and my twin brother were in this play crib, as I remember this, um, I don't know, I must have been like 2 years old, or like really, really young. Okay. And we were in a play crib. We were out at the creek where there had been there. It was Sasquatch sightings about 10 years before when we were there as kids, 10 years prior, there was an actual Sasquatch sighting there. So they are in the area. And when we were kids, little babies, 2 years old, toddlers, we were literally in a little playpen. And our parents, back in those days, they're drinking and partying, of course, right at the creek. And I remember having these two little bear cubs playing with us. They came out of nowhere. These little bear cubs were playing with me and my brother. Okay.
Oh, it's
Now,
so cute.
now, what kind of mother bear is going to let her bear cubs get that close to a bunch of people and not attack? But I do remember my parents kind of freaking out and scurrying whatever it was away. But they probably didn't realize what it was either, because back in those days they were probably drunk and whatever, right?
Right.
Those times. But like, it makes me think, even back then, this is where they've been here forever, right? They've been connected to us forever.
Yep.
And I think they're literally connected to everybody out there.
Yep.
Even you probably have, some kind of Sasquatch similar to mine with you. You just, like, they can work with you, and you won't even know. You will literally have one with you, protecting you, and you will not even know it's there. You'll think it's just normal everyday life, but literally they're there with you, and they freaking guide you, man. These certain, you know what I'm saying, man. I've said this
Yeah.
stuff so many times to you.
No, 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 no. But you're right. So before we close, let's just talk a little bit about your encounter. What did you
Okay,
see in your encounter and how it happened?
which one are we talking about here?
Well,
Like,
the visual sighting that you had, that pretty
okay,
much set you like, yep,
at the creek,
I
at the
know they're
creek.
real. I saw it across the river there. I know I saw it. There's no denying it now. So
I'm gonna describe it here now. It was really weird too, right? Because when I think about the Sasquatch, possibly, there being these interdimensional beings, right? When it moved, it almost had this shimmering circle effect. Like, say, you know, a big oval around him as as she was walking. Okay, like this shimmering
yeah, that's
circle.
it's
This
the,
is,
that's the dream that's the dream I had the other night.
really.
Yeah, but go ahead.
So yeah, it came walking out. It had to be about 9 feet tall, I'd say, the very most, maybe even 7 to 9 feet, I say. It was in the distance, right? Head to toe, brown, light brown fur hair, I hate saying fur. It's hair. The steps were so big, man. That's the first thing that caught my eyes. And I said to James, I looked at James and I said, dude, are we seeing a freaking Sasquatch here? You know, and he was skeptical at first, right? Because he's a skeptical guy, right? He doesn't know. And he's like, I don't know, right? But more as time went on, he's come to really realize what he'd seen. He's come to terms with it. You know, he has seen a Sasquatch as well. He knows it, man, because I'm telling you, man, the thing that caught my eye first was these steps it was taking. They were so big, dude. The space between the legs at that distance was so big. You know, bigger than anybody, man. Like, it's funny because, like, and I mean, you've seen things, right? So you just gotta see it to know, right? You gotta see it. It's hard to explain it to somebody, right? Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can tell you, yeah, this thing was big. It walked. It was huge. It was brown, right? It was hairy head to toe.
Was it walking through the water? Was it going from one side of the river to the other?
Oh yeah, no, it was on the rocks at first. It came walking out. There was trees, okay, on the right side. You want that kind of description? In my vision, I'm seeing the river goes down. There's a rock beach, a tree line, and then there's another rock bank. And in between that, there's another rock beach, the river, and a rock beach. This thing comes walking out, and it covers 200 yards in 10 seconds. In that 10 seconds, it walks through a river that's about waist deep on me. I won't even walk through it. It's that deep. And it's rushing, man. It's rushing fast. Okay, like this thing walked through that whole thing in 10 seconds, man. Taking huge steps. It was undeniable. To me, it's undeniable. You know, it's undeniable to me. It was just crazy, man.
Did it seem
The,
like
the biggest steps I've ever seen anything take, man.
like it flowed, like it floated
It was
across?
like they say, man, how they just move. That's basically what it was like. All singular motion like this. The water didn't slow it down. It was boom. You know, right by.
It's pretty wild.
Mm.
So I had it like a couple nights ago, before I even saw your video of where you sprained your ankle. So I'm like, and I had a lucid dream about uh, a male, female, and a child Sasquatch. And in my dream, I drove like 10 miles north into Michigan, and I was in country roads, and there was like a plot of like maybe an acre of, there was like woods on both sides, but it wasn't like, just your typical Midwestern flat land farm field stuff where you have a patch of woods and then a bunch of, corn or soybean, whatever. Anyways, I lay down in the intersection there on my back because I knew there were Sasquatch in there. I could feel them. I think somebody told me that in my dream as well. So I lay down, and then they traveled, they glided basically past me. I was laid down, I had my eyes closed, but I was peeking in the side, right? Because I didn't want to miss it, right? I was trying to fool them, right? And so they come past me, and there was peace, and it was like, wow, and it was amazing.
Dude, you're connected to the Sasquatch. I don't care what anyone says.
But here's
You
the
ever
thing.
dreams like that, dude? 100%. You're connected to them too, man. Just like I am. You just got to realize that just because you haven't seen one like me or had experiences quite like mine, you're having dreams like that, dude. 100%. You're connected to Sasquatch.
I haven't had the positive thing yet. That's the thing. But I imagine
So
maybe
everybody's
well,
on their
hold
own
on.
journey,
Let me
right? Everybody's on
rephrase
their
that.
own
Let me
journey.
rephrase
Like,
that. It's
man,
not that I haven't had the positive. I'm just trying to realize like the first encounter probably was actually a positive experience. It saved potentially my
I think
life.
it did.
So, but so anyways, in this dream, as they're drifting by, I'm on these flatlands, and things start getting hilly and mountainy, and they're hearing all these rumors. Oh yeah, there's one down there and everything. And I said, oh, that's cool, that's great. And then phone call rang, but it turns into basically this where you're at in British Columbia with all the moss. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? The stream. There's like a small village of like
Dude.
wooded houses. You kind of
Mhm.
close to the area, kind of like
You're gonna
shopping mall, like type of thing. But it's not. It's not like your typical shopping mall. It's like along the road there.
trip.
It's not really a shopping mall. It's just like a small. It'd be a small, like just a small town that you would expect out there.
You're gonna trip tomorrow. Like when I show you the video that I make tomorrow, you're gonna fucking just lose it, man. This place is wild.
Well, I guess what when we were talking about it, and I'm thinking, I don't know if that was for me or not. It's just, dude, it's just that picture. There's like a man. Anyways, there there's a dude right in here, right?
Oh,
Another
totally,
dude,
100%.
okay, and then there's the old shamanic woman.
I see a giant nose as well on top, right? If you follow the stick, the X stick, right up to the top in the tree. Now, right there, that's a giant nose. He's literally in the tree, bro. The whole
Well, there is
tree.
there's a little guy right there, that's for sure.
That's a nose. That whole section you just went over is a nose.
It's almost like she's holding in her hand a skull, but you can see there's like
Oh yeah, that
a
looks trippy.
totem that's leading up to her. Anyways, my point is, I think in the dream, I think we kind of
We're
talked about
getting in
this.
there too
I
much anyway.
think maybe I'm wrong. We'll find out. Maybe I'm wrong, and I am going to encounter a local Sasquatch family, but I don't think so. I think it's you.
Hey
I think
Tom,
I think
Tom,
you guys are going to interact with the
Tom,
multi,
synchronicities to the roof. Tom,
I,
no, I'm saying Tom because this is a different person, but synchronicities here just ringing in here, bro. Now you're talking about me, Sasquatch family, okay?
yep.
Now I just seen this guy on Steve Isdell's channel posted a picture of this tree bend,
So Steve's
okay?
last name is Isdell.
Yes, Isdall,
Okay. Odzell.
Indall.
I never knew his last name. Okay.
Now this
That
guy,
that that owl man, I'm not thinking he's legit.
yeah, El Mountain's kind of weird, I think too.
I don't think he's
But
legit.
check this out. This guy sends in a story, right? And he shows this picture, and I'm like, right away when I see the picture, I go, I know that tree bend. That's in my town here. And I go, that's my fucking tree bend. And I listen to the guy's story, and his name's Tom Skyme. Okay, whatever, right? So I end up fucking doing my sleuthing, and I find out who this guy is. I end up contacting him, and I say, hey, man, because I don't know if he stole up my picture and sent it in and made up a story. I end up finding his profile and talking to the guy. Cool dude, man. Cool dude. That's not my picture. He took it himself. You know, he's in contact with a family of Sasquatch in this area. What's that telling you, man? He wants to link up with me. He was probably,
When
I
did
don't think
this
he's
when did this
watching right now
happen?
because there's only two people in here right now, but he was in the room earlier watching, and he said he wants to talk to me.
Well, what does Tom go by?
Pardon?
What does Tom go by?
Tom Skyme, I think that's what it is. Tom Skyme is his name.
He was in the room here.
I'm not sure. I don't think he came on here as Tom Skyme though. I didn't see that, but you know, I don't know if he came in the live chat or if you can tell, but you know, I sent him the link to this tonight, and he messaged me back and said, he goes, I checked out your site, pretty cool. I'd like to exchange stories sometime, you know, like he wants to talk with me. So I'm going to link up with him. And I mean, how cool is that you had the dream of the Sasquatch family? I link up with this guy through hearing a story about being connected through a Sasquatch family. This guy, we're going to obviously talk. Me and this guy are going to exchange stories. You know, we're going to talk about this. I think that's such a cool, like the synchronicities, man.
So when did you talk to him first?
When did I talk to him?
Yeah.
Today.
Oh, today. Okay, I get it.
It just happened, bro. This literally just happened.
Yeah, I think you're gonna run across the Sasquatch family. That's what I think is gonna happen.
Freaking A, man.
I don't know what. I don't know.
You know what? I feel it.
I don't know what that means. They might carry you off and take you away. I don't know.
The funny thing is, bro,
if you're lucky,
in the last 2 weeks, we've been talking about changing the logo of Sasquatch.Confessions to a family of Sasquatch.
That's fun.
More synchronicities.
Yeah, that's a cool name. It's definitely it's more. I guess it's more in line with what's going on than mine. O.R.D. And somebody was complaining. Actually, the guy, he just said, "You wear the same sweatshirt or shirt every show. And do you need money for clothes?" And I'm like, "Yeah, actually, I do. To be as a matter of fact, you know, I'm a single father. You know, most all my little extra money goes to the alimony.
When you get a certain age, you just don't care."
And it's like, you know, you know, I don't care. You know what I mean? 55, you know. So well, I'm going to get you some new. I'm going to send you some money for new clothes. And I said, hey, buddy, if you want to do that, and it's you, Craig, if you hear me, thank you for the offer. Sincerely, I truly appreciate it. If you know what, if you want to send me a gift card so I can get some new shirts, I will definitely do it. But
one day when I get Sasquatch gear, I'll send you some, bro.
There you go. I could be I'm gonna have to please send me some clothes, please. No, I don't really care. I mean,
Confessions shirt or sweater, would you wear it?
Of course I would. Sweater? Not a sweater. A sweatshirt,
T-shirt?
yes. A sweatshirt I would, but not a sweater. You can never get me wearing a sweater. I'm sorry.
like a hoodie.
Yeah, I could do that 100%. You said a sweater. Here where I'm from, a sweater is one of those things they knit. You know what I mean? That like really crappy. I'm not gonna wear a sweater.
No.
A hoodie, yeah, for sure, man. That does.
Cool.
Yeah,
we'll make that happen in the future.
I'll take any free clothes. Just remember, I'm a little stockier. I like my stuff baggy. So I like I'm really like a large, but I should be. I like extra large. I like it being baggy. You know what I mean?
Whatever size you are, that ain't a problem, man. We'll make it happen.
Just a hell of a lot more comfortable.
You're gonna be the first person getting one, bud.
Well, you know, there's another weird thing about this image too, is if you look a little closely, it's almost like there's another guy kind of materializing right in here. I was looking back at her.
Mm-hmm.
But and that would probably be more in line with what this one is too. I bet you this is part of the family. I wouldn't be surprised if your guys' Sasquatches even look more like this, especially when they got their paint on or their masks. Because a lot of these wear masks, I've discovered, right? They do wear, actually, they spend an exorbitant amount of time making these masks. I guess they say it's because, you know, they're concerned about us being afraid because how scary they look, but I can't imagine them not seeing us looking scary as well. You know, all those.
You see Mama's in the room. She says she can't wait to explore some places around here when it gets nicer out.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I don't know what I'm gonna do this year. You know what I mean? I think it's going to be my role. I think is to keep researching, and I don't know. I feel like there's like I need to encourage guys like you to be more, just to keep being authentic
Hmm.
and following the true path. And don't.
I'm
I
just
mean,
going with
I
it,
mean,
man. I'm a baby in on this path. Really, I just started it, and I'm interested to see where it goes because I
well,
think
you
it's
all, we
just a
all
way.
are, you know. But I think the thing is that what's happened is we've been so polluted by all the sensationalism, all the scary stories, and also I think that the dismissive nature of that we have exhibited towards the indigenous populations. Dude, there's a conehead right there too, man. I bet you if you were to fix this up, you see that? There's actually a cone. There.
Mhm. Yep.
That's a badass picture. That's that picture. Do you cherish that one? Because that's something that's going to mean something more than you imagine. I think. I personally think. In fact,
I'd
I
say,
think
man.
you know what she has on her head is a feather. She has a feather on her head, or a
Hmm.
fern. Maybe it's a fern leaf, or it's. I wouldn't be surprised if that is a feather that is drooping down from the back of her head over her forehead towards the middle of her, between her eyes. But that's what I think. And oh, what do I know, right? So except I put my money on that. And there is there's a totem running right up here. Okay, and it's probably a tree, but it's manifesting as a totem running right up here. And there's a
That
cone head.
almost looks like that video that Buddy got with that thing, the Sasquatch or whatever, leaning out and going back into the tree. The one that was on your other video. Do you know what I'm saying?
Which one was that?
Um, you
Oh,
shared it.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The one that was the black silhouette one that came out and then
Yeah,
went
and
back
it
in.
was leaning out, and then it went into the tree,
Yeah, there's a spirit because it came out of the tree and manifest, right?
like what you always talk about. I'm
And
like
then
trying to like, dude. I'm
when the
trying to
guy,
zoom
what
in on your
happened when the
screen.
guy went towards it? What did it do? Instead of attacking him, it went back into the tree,
Mm-hmm.
which reveals something. As terrifying as it may be, um, that if you, especially if you, which is easier said than done, and I admit this, right? But if you don't cower, they have more respect for you. And if you go towards them, which seems to be the universal thing, it's because usually it's like 99% of the time it's us running away from them. But when you see them, if you go towards them, the opposite happens. They run away from you, which reveals a lot about what's really going on, right? So I believe what they use is they use these ethereal spiritual elements around us, right? The different spirits to drive fear into us, right? It causes us to,
Mm-hmm.
that chill going down our top of, our
Mm-hmm.
spine and go, oh my
Yep.
gosh, and this
I
dread,
better turn around and get out of here.
right? Because that's what they would prefer, right? I mean, because they
You're
would
making
rather
sense,
for the,
buddy.
they don't really want to interact with the average human being because we suck when it comes to a lot of a lot of things we do. Because of and the reason we suck is because when I say that, and I mean collectively, and including me, I mean it's like because of I honestly think that 3 or 4 generations ago, people's attitudes towards this stuff was so much different, and especially in the what I call the true developed places. I'm not talking about like New York City or London or something. Those are very barbarous places once you understand what's really going on. true developed places are the ones that are in harmony with everything around you, right? That's
Mhm.
true harmony and then true development. That's the way we're meant to be. And I do believe that from
The way
at
the
an
native
early
peoples
age,
spoke
you
to
were
us, man.
taught to understand this, to face your fears, and it becomes the same thing as say seeing a tarantula run across the desert floor or a lizard or a snake. If you understand what's going on and you learn to respect it and appreciate it and keep your proper distance from things, then there's no big deal. But we've been so driven from away from reality, and we can't see it. Most of us can't see it,
I wonder
because
if that's why they sent out like the young native men on their own to do their like quests, their like vision quests, to become a man kind of thing.
I
You
think
know,
so. I think it was all part like the
you conquer those feelings that you get from the elements being on your own out there, right?
right. What did I'm losing my train of thought. What did I when me or Mike were talking? Nick Patterson. What did I call that? The journey of the dead? No, the journey. The dark journey of the soul. That's what it is. I don't need any.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So that's part. That was part of that shamanic ritual that all young men around 10, 12 years of age
yep.
would
12,
go
13,
through.
coming of age.
And I'm sure that many a young man in the area that you lived, say 200 years ago, 150 years ago, that was part of their journey was to go out
100%.
into these woods by themselves, not only to deal with the bears and the animals, but and elements, but also to deal with Sasquatch, to confront it, and to
Mhm.
realize and come back home alive
Well,
and
you
realize.
know about the seven teachings of the native seven teachings, right?
I know about it, but I don't have memorized or anything. So,
Like number 5 is Sabe, right? Sasquatch.
Kitcha Sabe.
Sabe, yeah.
Uh,
And the reason why like,
Ojibwe, Kitcha Sabe.
yeah, it says Jibwe.
Uh,
Now the Sabe is with the word that comes with it, or the teaching that comes with Sabe is honesty.
uh-huh. Honesty. I think he paused.
I don't know if you can hear me, but okay.
Yeah, well, you paused. You said you stopped at honesty.
Okay, so the reason why the Sabe or Sasquatch is with the word honesty, or that with that, is because if you see a Sasquatch, you're gonna go tell people about this, right? You're gonna tell people, you're gonna be being honest with people, and they'll never believe you. But you'll stick to your words, man. To the day you die, you'll continually tell your story to people, and that's part of it, right? You have to be honest about it. You have to tell your story, and people might not believe you. They might call you crazy,
Most
but
will
you have
most
to
most
stick
will
to it.
not believe you
You
and
have
will
to
call you
stick to
crazy.
your story. You'll never change it, man. You have to be honest with what you've seen. It's part of the teaching with it. You're being taught honesty here when you see a Sasquatch.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, you if you don't, you'll go mad. If you don't deal with it, if you don't talk about it, if you don't deal with it, you will go mad. That's what happens.
Exactly.
You will go mad. How many people do I know who, instead of embracing it and dealing with it, um, and I've tried to do that myself, and I have to be first to admit that, I just demonized it and everything, right? It's all the
Hmm.
devil, it's all Satan and everything like that. And until you finally, but at some point, you will either
1000%,
become a
Joe.
miserable wretch from it all, or you say, okay, I'm going to deal with it. I'm going to embrace it.
Hmm.
And I mean, I don't know if I want to see it again personally, but
I'm ready for when I
well, yeah,
see my
the reason I
Sasquatch.
say I'm not, if I was younger, probably, but because of my health issues, I don't know if it's really. But then again, they're not showing themselves to me. I mean, I know they're around. I know their presence is around. And I, like I said, I don't put any effort into filming them, and I film them. So it's not when I say, how do I say that? That didn't sound right. I put as minimal amount of effort as possible while still being able to film. Let's put it that way. That's a better way to say it. Because I do film. I do put some effort. But I mean, it's like I'm not like going out of my way to see them again because I know they're I already. I mean, I know they're everywhere. They're there and all the other spirits. One thing that I feel though strongly about is that I would like to encourage people to embrace all the other spiritual aspects of, including the different spirits of this forest. It's not just Bigfoot, Sasquatch. Kitchen is an important, very powerful spirit in this realm, right? But it's not the only one.
Mm-hmm.
And there's multiple, just tons of them that are associated with them. Like
Oh, yeah.
here's the, if I would have to tweak this picture right here in the middle of this tree, there is literally a totem raising up of several, if not half a dozen entities. That's right there. Okay, so you have the old symbolic medicine woman from that region, and somebody called somebody would call it the hag. I don't know if that's the right thing to say it or not, but it's got the hunchback. She got the old
We
lady.
have one, bro. Let me just say something, okay? I can't pronounce the name right, so I'm not going to. But we have one here
I don't
in the
know.
legends here. Okay, part of this
That's it.
native.
That's what you're seeing. That's I'm telling you. That's what it is.
Literally, we have one. But I can't say the name for it because I can't. I can't. I'm not even gonna try to. I'll murder it if I do. But literally, we have in our lore here, in our native culture, it's here. We have that. We'll call it a hag. But yes, we do. And she takes children. She literally takes children, puts them in her bag, and goes off. She has a satchel.
Well, that's what you're looking at. That's it.
Yeah, we're gonna be ending soon, James. James just jumped on there. Hey, you still going?
So, but here's the thing, though. Yeah, it's the legend of them taking the children, right? But is there a legend of her taking the men?
I believe so.
Really?
I think it's people in general to watch out for her, right? Like I can't. I'm gonna get. I'll get more on that. I'm gonna look into more of this stuff, and we'll have another chat about that another time.
Well, I
Because
don't want you to
I
get
don't want to
freaked out
just like.
about it, but at the same token, I have to tell you that I myself filmed our version of the hag in my area in January of 2018. Was it? Yeah, it was either. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was about a month after I had that serious spiritual warfare. Man, I filmed one, and that was the very first entity that I filmed after the spiritual warfare. And I think they present the hag to you first. Now, hear me out.
Mhm.
They present the hag to you first to try to drive you away.
The Zuniqua. That's what my brother calls them. The Zuniqua. That's another one, right? The Zuniqua is the female Sasquatch from Vancouver Island. My brother just messaged me here, right? And he said the Zuniqua. That's the female version. We have the Buckwas. That's another native name for the Zuniqua. I've always heard the Buckwas was the small male, so probably like a juvenile. Okay, the Zuniqua is a, you know, the female. woman Sasquatch, right?
Dude, that'd be like a badass poster, or
That's a
seriously,
real deal, man. Like,
it looks like
there's
something that would be right out of a movie.
if I really got into the like, if I should next time we should I should really look into researching a little bit more stuff here, and so I remember because my brain's so all over the place, right? And there's so much stuff we could be talking about too about this stuff if we wanted to get really into it.
Well, we've been talking almost 3 hours, so it's probably a good time to stop. But I just want to end with this picture because I think it's a find. I think it's very revealing of a bigger part of the story, and it comes to the old Sasquatch hag witch, that it is part of the story. And you said you get there's traditions of them causing. Well, I think this is at least I had this experience, and one of the things is going through this journey. The good, bad, and the ugly is going to be thrown at you, and if you endure it all, this rite of passage in this phase of your mystery school, because you are the mystery school, right? That
I like
if you
it.
get through all this, you'll be a better, stronger man, and you'll be closer to the creator for it, or this stuff will destroy you. So that's what it comes down to, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
I
mean?
think so.
Any final words, my friend, before I close shop here? Thank you, Squatch Seeker, for coming back. Diesel, thank you for showing up.
Love, peace, and chicken grease.
BC Mama. Who's BC Mama? You know, personally?
That's Becky. Her name's Becky. She's from BC here. She's a friend of mine.
BC. Okay, and then Sheldon, my wingman, thank you for being here, man. And if you're still with us, Sheldon, Sheldon's like always been there for me. So thank you, Sheldon. Someday we'll meet each other. Sheldon lives on the other side of Ohio. Maybe tomorrow night. I'm not 100% sure because I haven't heard back from the guys. And but the cameraman and Trapper are supposed to be with me talking about the Ohio Grassman over there in the Eastern Ohio. And I also like to talk to them about what's going on as far as New Palestine, Steen, or
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is, and see if it's affecting the waterways like they say. I've seen images, at least where right around the locals, for where the railroad accident or derailment was, that all the fish are dying. And I just wonder if it's they're noticing any kind of something happening in their waters as well, to the birds. You know, I saw some guy saying there's a bunch of dead birds on the telephone line in Indiana, and I'm like, well, thank God
It's
the
a
birds,
shame, man.
the woodpeckers were out this morning, and the birds and everyone chirping, and I'm like, well, they're not dead, so I don't know. Maybe it's just trade wind or something, but I would like to talk to them about two things, you know, what they're experiencing there, and then
Excuse me.
I want to do that teaching. I need to get that teaching done. I want to do that teaching about the connection between the trees and the underworld, the middle world, and the upper world, and try to do halfway decent ones so people understand why
All your
the
videos are great,
association.
bro. Your videos are great.
Because yeah, well, thank you, man. So are yours, man. Thanks for being there. Thanks for sticking out for the past 3 hours. I know it's like, ooh, you're probably like, man, I need to burn one down. Would you just
I
shut up?
enjoyed every minute of it, buddy. I enjoyed it all, man. And I will be
Hey,
back here.
Dal.
We'll definitely have another conversation again, bro. If you're into that, I'll definitely be
Thank you,
back.
Dal. You know I do. You know, dude. You know, I don't know how it just felt for you guys tonight, but I guarantee you, we've had much deeper conversations than this one, and this was pretty deep. To be honest with you, maybe it was good that we started out and kind of made a low and just in first
Ease them
gear.
into it. Ease them into it.
I think so. Maybe we just stayed in first gear first. I mean, it just turned out to be the right thing. So, if you guys want me to continue, I don't expect you to stick it out with me, but if you guys want me to continue, um, I don't know. I mean, I could start a new live in an hour, And if not, let me know. If I don't hear anything from you, I'm just not going to start a new life. Hey, Caddy, thank you. Because I've had enough myself, man. Actually,
Yeah,
you
it
know what I
must be
wanted?
getting near midnight for you, bro.
I'm gonna smoke some of my Norwegian tobacco and go to bed. Anything else you want to say to him? Oh yeah, TikTok. What else?
Sasquatch.Confessions on TikTok.
It will soon be changed to.
It's going to be that.
I thought you
It's
said it was
always
going to
going to
be
be
changed
Sasquatch
to
Confessions.
a family of Sasquatch.
We're going to change the logo, just the logo.
Oh, okay.
The logo. That's what I'm thinking here.
So I
But
have
we're
this
always going to be
picture.
Sasquatch Confessions. I'm going to be starting a podcast as well on my YouTube channel, guys. If anybody watches this, feel free to go over there and check it out. Sasquatch.Confessions on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. It's all the same. What else can I say, man? Keep it squatchy.
You're the king, bro. You're the king of BC. See you, folks. And